The following is a special presentation of ABC Sports.
Offense is defined as the means or method of attacking or of attempting to score. In sports, the method is often different, but the outcome, when successful, is the same. Defense is the capability of resisting attack. In athletics, the resistance is attained through a concentrated, focused effort. In college football, the Clemson Tigers feature a defense that led the nation against the run. In fact, no one has rushed for the magical 100-yard mark against the Tigers in 38 games. The California Golden Bears showcase Russell White, the only Cal running back to put together back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. Quarterback Mike Pulaski spearheads the Cal attack, one of the highest-scoring teams in all the land. The 1992 Florida Citrus Bowl matches great offense against great defense. Looking live at the Citrus Bowl in Orlando, Florida, where we start a day of great college football on ABC. It's the champions of the ACC, the Clemson Tigers, against the California Golden Bears of the Pac-10. And the Clemson seniors voted unanimously to break out the purple jerseys, the first time in the history of the school that they will wear a color other than orange or white in a bowl game. Happy New Year, everybody. I'm Brent Musburger. For California, what a Cinderella year it's been. And for the first time since 1959, the Golden Bears are playing on New Year's Day. They have brought 7,000 of their fans down here to Central Florida. Of course, Clemson's so much closer, there'll be more than 20,000 of the Tiger backers on hand today. Let me introduce you to the two quarterbacks. We're going to be talking about these two fellows all day long. Mike Pulaski of California on the right. He has thrown 21 touchdown passes this season. Yes, he will wear the eye shield. Over on the left, Deshaun Cameron, more of an option type. But the Tigers have won 85% of their games since he became the starter 3 seasons ago. Now a matchup that will go a long way toward determining the outcome of the game. On the left, that's Troy Auzine. He's an All-American tackle out at Cal. Folks, he has not allowed a sack this year, but he's up against the monster today. 350-pound Chester McLaughlin, who a year ago teed off on Illinois on the first play of the game, forced a fumble. That set the stage, Dick Vermeil, for a 30-0 rout. It is going to be tough going for Cal's offense.
Well, McLaughlin's not the only big 300-pounder they have in that defense. They have defense to run so well this year. In fact, they've done it better than any college defensive football team has done it in the last 21 years. Now, they're matched up against a very well-balanced offense. But their problem is they've only been successful when they've been able to both run and pass. So I look for Cal maybe to open up passing the ball and gradually blend in the running game.
Dick, who has to step up big for Cal today?
Well, Russell White, their All-American running back. We've seen him play twice, and he hasn't played like an All-American. He has to do it today.
So the Clemson Tigers will go for their 6th consecutive bowl victory against the Golden Bears of California. Coming up on ABC.
It's the Dodge Drive for the Gold sales drive. Now own Shadow America for only $69.84, thanks to 1,000 cash back. On Caravan, get cash back, and you can get air at no extra charge. Up to $2,000 cash back on select Dodge trucks, and package savings up to $26.83. In soon. See your nearest Dodge dealer today.
If you suffer from the common aches and pains of arthritis, doctors know that a safe and effective way to relieve them is something you may already have in your home. Extra strength Tylenol gel caps. Tylenol helps relieve arthritis pain without irritating your stomach, the way aspirin or even ibuprofen can. What should you take for your arthritis pain? Talk to your doctor. The answer may be closer than you think. Tylenol, the pain reliever hospitals use most.
The Florida Citrus Bowl. Brought to you by Dodge, a division of the Chrysler Corporation. By the Die-Hard battery, now with more power when you need it most. And by Red Lobster, for the seafood lover in you.
Sean Cameron showing you what transpired inside that Clemson locker room just moments ago. Off came the orange jerseys that they warmed up, and on with the purple. So for the Clemson Tigers today, it will be the purple gang, as Coach Ken Hatfield went back in the history of the school and found out that purple and orange are their actual colors, and he thought that the orange had become too dominating over the last couple of decades. So Suave to kick it off here for Clemson, as California will get the ball with the first possession. The Tigers won the toss and they deferred to the second half. Russell White, number 4, the key man, remember, and Lindsey Chapman, his backup at that running back spot. Underway at the Citrus Bowl, this is Chapman. To the middle of the field, smacked at the 22-yard line, and that's where Pulaski will put it in play as Paul Caputo, a backup fullback, comes ripping in to make the stop. So Pulaski is he's a firebrand type youngster. He wears his emotions out on his sleeves. He'll lift the team up, and he has thrown a record 21 touchdowns. Russell White, he's the key man. Greg Zomald will have to be a protector today. Brian Treggs and Sean Dawkins, extremely talented. And we'll get a look at Troy Ozine, number 52. And on first down against the blitz, he drops off a screen pass. He hits Zomald, the fullback, with the first play of the game. A bit of a wrinkle for 16 yards.
See, they're going to want to take a little heat off that pass rush right away. That's why I said look for him to throw the ball early in the game, get those defensive linemen chasing and running, and then come with the running game.
Dick, what about the matchups up there in the line? How much help will Ozine and the fellas need against these big defensive linemen?
Ozine will be blocking one-on-one in the passing game all along on those big people.
White's first carry for a couple of yards against this defense. McLaughlin making his first stop of the game, wearing number 91, and he actually weighed in down here at closer to 350 pounds. And look at Buckner, he goes at 315. In that secondary, number 15 is the young man to keep an eye on. Robert O'Neill, one of the better free safeties in America, lined up back there in center field now, shading over to the right. So Pulaski trying to get it straight with his tight end, Brent Woodall, wanting him over on the left. California again throwing the ball to the underneath. It was Woodall for a first down. The tight end reaching midfield, and we will see for certain where they spot the ball, but he appeared to have first down yardage.
You know, right now they have Buckner over on the right offensive side rather than on the left offensive side. They're probably going to move him around so they can't double him up because he is that big power rusher. They throw a little delay as the zone linebackers drop out, effective for the first down.
Now here's what California's thoughts are as far as the passing game is concerned. Coach Bruce Snyder wants to open it up early and then come back with the running game in the second half. A bit of a wrinkle. Throws to a diving receiver on first down for no more than a yard. That's Zomald, his fullback, who has become very active as a receiver here early.
He has, and again, getting back to echo what you were talking about, Brent, if they can get those big linemen running and rushing the passer and chasing the screens and the wide outside running plays, they think they can tire them out just enough so then they can run against them more effectively in the second half.
Dick, what's happening up front right now as far as the offensive line of Cal is concerned?
Right now, the defense is moving them around, so there's no pattern right now. And that play, of course, they just got whipped on that trap play.
Well, there, McLaughlin and his buddies, and they have not allowed an opponent running back to get 100 yards in the last 38 games at Clemson. They are so tough against the run. Here's the matchup.
Here he is going underneath Pod Stussy. See, the problem with him is if you get off center on a man that powerful, he will turn your body and go right on through it. You've got to stay in front of it.
3rd and 10. Pulaski with a penalty flag thrown, fires back across the grain, and it is Zomald again who is ripped down by Kenzel Jackson at the 43. Penalty flags on both sides of the line of scrimmage, and our referee is Lloyd Dale with the Southwest Conference crew.
I think they lined up on.
Chatter down on the sideline indicating they may have lined up offside. Ken Hatfield, the head coach at Clemson. And this gives you an idea as White has rushed for better than 2,000 yards at Cal, averaging 5 yards a carry. And Clemson's opponents only 1.9. But California balances the attack, and they're getting it done for Coach Bruce Snyder with the pass here in the early moments of this game.
And exactly what he told us they were going to do. Steve Mariucci, the fine offensive coordinator from Cal, said this is their plan. Get those big guys running, wear them out a little bit, then attack them a little bit more with the direct running game.
All right, now with the penalty, the ball is moved to the Clemson 45-yard line. It is 3rd and 5. California has passed for 26 yards and has run for 0 in 2 carries. Pulaski straight back, had time, throws for the first down. Jackson making the stop at the 40-yard line on the wide receiver, Sean Dawkins.
Brent, you already noticed that they aren't holding the ball for a long time to throw the ball. That was a delay underneath. Didn't take very long to get it. They get just what they need. It looks or appears to be the first down, but they're not going to hold on to the ball for a long time.
Sean Dawkins is one of the big play standouts. Pulaski likes to find him, especially in one-on-one coverage. But here early against this Clemson defense, they're not even looking for the long pass. They are trying to keep it underneath 5-6 yard. Quick strikes for Snyder, who is recognized now as one of the coming coaching powers as far as college football, and who knows, perhaps someday even back in the NFL, as he was on John Robinson's staff with the Los Angeles Rams before he went to Cal.
Nobody in college football has done a better job than this guy has done at rebuilding California.
And the Golden Bears with a first down at the 40. Here comes the reverse and a throw back to Pulaski. The citrus play comes early. Russell White's got it. They put it in especially for this game, and they named it the citrus. It's back to Pulaski to White for 26 yards.
You'll see the reverse happen as he comes back on the eye toss, and then it'll be flipped back. Now, it's great to run the reverse off your best running back's play. See, now they're going to flip it back. Now he flips it back to the running back rather than to a receiver. Boy, that's tough on the defense. First person, I think, ever to run that kind of play, from what I understand, was Paul Brown.
Pulaski is 5 for 5 passing for 57 yards. You'd think you throw early down here inside that 15. They haven't been able to run against this line. They're going to put it up right away. Exactly. Why wait? Incomplete. And Tyrone Mouzon, blitzing that time, number 47, applies the pressure.
Those kind of plays break the discipline of your defense, Brent, and that's what happened there. No one accounted for the back that originally had the ball. You see the blitz coming from the right side of your screen, then bang to the left side of your screen. Russell White doing a good job of pass protection on the right, not a good job on pass protection to the left. Cal's been successful inside the 20, as you can see.
So Chapman checks in at running back. 3 wide receivers. They're going to throw again, and he has to fire it fast to Triggs. Triggs for the end zone and close. Inside the 2-yard line and down. But that will give California a 1st and goal. And now perhaps one of the big backs can muscle in for the Bears.
That was the old Rocket Ishmael Notre Dame middle screen. Flanker coming from the left side of your screen. They get the rush upfield. They set it. Now watch. See, he's going to draw the rush. You see how coming from the inside. He gets the blocks upfield by his offensive lineman. Azine gets a kick out. There's the hole toward the goal line.
And a timeout being called by Clemson's defense. So we'll take a break and come right back to Orlando, Florida.
Hurry to Red Lobster for the shrimp feast. Start with shrimp cocktail, followed by sizzling shrimp scampi, succulent grilled shrimp, and large butterflied shrimp. What a meal. Now you know why it's called the Shrimp Feast, only at Red Lobster.
It's Red Lobster's lunch special. For a short time, get shrimp and chicken for just $3.99. Golden fried shrimp and grilled chicken breast with salad and baked potato, only $3.99. Now, every day at Red Lobster for lunch.
George, it's Mother. I know you're sick. Look by your bed. That's the #1 cough medicine. Take it and call me in the morning.
Thanks, Mom. But this cold is massive. I need NyQuil. With your cough medicine, I'd still be up tonight, sneezing and aching. And, Mom, I gotta rest, because tomorrow I'm eloping. Good night.
Vicks NyQuil, the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head fever so you can rest medicine. Also available in new liquid caps.
Last year, Motor Trend's top 10 list of best buys named Dodge Shadow ES the best American econosport, Dodge Spirit RT the best American sports sedan, and Dodge Caravan the best American minivan. But now that this year's Motor Trend list is out, the picture has changed slightly.
Now drive for the gold with up to $1,500 cash back on select Dodge cars.
Undefeated Washington goes after the national crown when they meet Heisman winner Desmond Howard and Big Ten champ Michigan. It's the Rose Bowl today on ABC Sports.
Mike Pulaski wearing that protective shield, which he thinks helps him when he looks in one direction. The defensive backs cannot pick up his eye movement. He's off to a wonderful start here, passing against this Clemson defense. Big Chester McLaughlin has already taken himself out once, but he's back on the field for goal line. First and goal, up over the top they go for the touchdown. Touchdown, California, as Clemson gives up a score on its opening drive for the 5th time this year. That's a lot against that defense.
So they did it with finesse football. Now, some people think you are being negative or critical of an offense when you say finesse, but you don't want to sit in there and punch these great big guys. You want to move the ball around the perimeter, get it there different ways, screens, reverses, reverse throwbacks, these type of things. And Cal, you have to give him credit. Very good job.
Doug Bryant, non-scholarship athlete. He'll get a full ride in January, and he deserves it. Adds the extra point. And California moves to an early touchdown lead on Clemson. And a splendid game plan here. No question about what they're doing with that quick drop, short passes, keeping that defense off balance.
Throwing the ball in front of the linebackers and the trip plays. The problem with that is pretty quick you run out of it. And then you have to play football. But they feel by doing this early, they can wear that big defense down just a little and then go ahead and run the football like they'd like to run the football. Here you see here, Cal has outscored their opponents 102-48 in the first quarter of this season. I think Bruce Snyder's exposure at coaching with the Los Angeles Rams under John Robinson and all that has really helped him open up his offensive thinking. There isn't anything he won't try to do with the football. Right now, they've passed 7 times and run 3 times for their first touchdown.
So they run it in for the game's first touchdown. Moving 76 yards, 10 plays, 3.5 minutes.
Here's where I think the other problem exists now, Brent, is Clemson offense. If Cal's defensive front can hold up, because they really come off the ball and nail you.
Larry Ryans, the speedster, number 20. Back deep. And Bryant ready to kick it off. Ryans from the 8. 25 to the 31-yard line, where Clemson will have their first possession behind Deshaun Cameron. Cameron getting final instructions from the sideline. Young man with 85% in the W column in 3 years. Just call him a winner. Rodney Blunt operating at that tailback spot behind big Rudy Harris. Ryans and Terry Smith are the wide receivers. Jeff Flesh, number 59, fine guard. And we'll see if Clemson elects to bring the option here early against this gambling Cal defense. It's the fullback, Rudy Harris. 8 carries on first down. Defensively, a couple of unfamiliar names who will start. The regulars there missed a practice back in Berkeley, but they will be on the field here soon, perhaps even the second series of the game. David Wilson, standout free safety, number 25 for Cal. On second down, Cameron off a fake is going to throw his first pass. He's under pressure. Incomplete. It'll be third down. And number 47, Paul Joyner, applying pressure on the quarterback.
Mac Travis, number 58, Cal's best defensive nose guard, into the right side of your screen on All-American. Jeb Flesh, 59. They're fighting a battle. That's going to be a battle that they're going to have all game. See, this is an intense war. 2 talented players. Keep fighting there, Jeb. You aren't going to let him get involved, are you? Atta boy.
Flesh in front of Cameron on this third down. Intercepted, or was it incomplete? Incomplete on the diving attempt by Zomal down here. That was close to being picked off under desperation as 2 Cal rushmen were all over Cameron.
You know, that time Matt Travis won the battle, and he got in there along with Chidi Anatu at number 72 to put pressure on the quarterback. You know, you're going to win some and lose some, but you can see Chidi Anatu, number 72, getting in there, and there's the ball. Oh, real close.
California scores on its first possession, and for Clemson, it is 3 downs and punt. Brian Triggs driven back to the 15-yard line. Running to the right, finds an alley and a hole, and Brian Triggs dances to the 48-yard line. The punter, Chuck Lynch, able to bring him down. A 33-yard return after a 51-yard punt. Wonderful start for California.
Hi, I'm John Madden with some of America's Olympic hopefuls, announcing Chrysler Plymouth's Drive for the Goal holiday clearance. That means a donation to the U.S. Olympic team and big savings to you. Up to $2,000 or low financing. Save on Voyager and Acclaim. Get $1,000 back on Sundance. Get big savings on Imperial and LeBaron sedans. You save and the Olympic team wins. What could be better? See your Chrysler Plymouth dealers now. The holiday clearance ends soon.
If your face were square, shaving would be simple. If your face were flat, any razor would do. But your face has curves. You need the revolutionary Schick Tracer, the first razor with a blade that flexes to trace every curve on your face. Compared to other razors, Tracer puts more of the blade edge against your skin. For real faces, just like yours. Tracer from Schick traces every curve on your face.
This hand holds 2 reasons for you to can the leading aerosol deodorant. 1, better deodorant protection. 2, a better way to get it. New Shore Pro Pump. Better deodorant protection, more concentrated than an aerosol, and a better way to get it, with pumping power. So more goes where you need it, not into thin air. That's 2 powerful reasons to switch to new Pro Pump, but I'm only going to tell you once. For better deodorant protection, can the can, pump the Pro.
When the label on Florida orange or grapefruit juice says it's 100% pure, it means just that. There are no additives or preservatives in Florida citrus juice. Just 100% pure Florida goodness.
These beautiful blimp shots are coming to us from the airship Shamu. That airship is a goodwill ambassador for SeaWorld right here in the Orlando, Florida area. You know, before that punt, only 18 of Lynch's 50 punts had been returned. But what a return that was. Greg Zomal, the running back. Pulaski being chased by McLaughlin, who yanks him down at the 35. Big Chester ran over him like a 16-wheeler.
That shows you how mobile and the talent that this man has at 352 pounds. Maybe it's true. Maybe he has run under 5 flat. Here he is to the right side of your screen, number 1. See, no one blocking him. You're going to peel back on him and try to knock him off there. They couldn't get the peel back block. Steve Gordon was there just a step late.
What I find interesting in this set is that they have moved McLaughlin away from Troy Azim. He came free on the other side, a 13-yard loss. Pulaski standing tall, hits Zumwalt, the fullback, and Clemson with Ed McDaniel, number 93, starting to deliver the hardware.
See, he came clean, Brent, because they were trying to run a sucker play over there. They pulled the lineman away from him, trying to get him to chase, and then they were going to whip back and block him from the backside. Didn't work.
So North Carolina State moves ahead in the second half. Syracuse jumps out big on Ohio State.
They like to run quick traps a lot of times in this situation.
Third and long, dropping to White underneath.
Number 4, Russell White.
And White to midfield with Bob Bodine, a talented nose man.
Ron Dickerson.
99, a walk-on from the state of North Dakota.
Ron Dickerson, the defensive coordinator for Clemson, said that he hasn't faced a team all year that screens so efficiently as Cal has. They don't see that many screens and the variety in the ACC.
Clemson's defense played much more aggressively in that series than they did in the opening series. Whatever Dickerson had to say to them on the sideline was very effective, and if they made any tactical changes, but it just seemed to be a little bit different effort. Now Cal will punt. Noonan's left-footed punt, fielded on the run by Stevens, and Darnell down at the 21-yard line. A 1-yard run as Cal's excellent punt coverage keeps that ball down by the 20.
Got stranded once. Never again.
Look, there's a reason more people go to Sears for a new battery than anywhere else.
Face another winner without a diehard? No way.
Only Sears has the Die Hard. In tests for cold cracking starting power, Die Hard performed 3 times better than industry standards.
Oh dear. If you don't have a Die Hard, you don't have a prayer.
Sears Die Hard battery. More power when you need it most.
Who's going to back you better than Sears?
A recent Department of Energy study reveals that most American homes are under-insulated. And that means you. To find out what's right for your home, call Owens Corning at 1-800-GET-PINK.
The tab is yours. Then 6 more people show up. A preset limit on a bank card sure could be embarrassing. Instead, you order more wine. The American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
Alka-Seltzer Plus goes to the Arctic Circle, where the toughest colds live.
The cold is miserable in this environment.
Alka-Seltzer Plus takes care of the aches, the runny nose.
It does the job.
Alka-Seltzer Plus fights tough winter colds with a combination of ingredients you can't get anywhere else.
Alka-Seltzer Plus has done exactly what I've needed it to do.
If I don't go to work, kids go hungry.
Alka-Seltzer Plus, tough medicine for tough winter colds. For nighttime relief without alcohol, try Alka-Seltzer Plus Nighttime.
Hello, everyone. This is Bruce Snyder, head football coach at Cal. This is the football coaching staff. And from all of us from the University of California, we want to wish you a Happy New Year! Go Bears!
And for all those Bear fans out on the West Coast, coming up on 11 o'clock, in case you just joined us, your Bears scored with their first possession. They lead Clemson 7-0. Clemson on the toss now with Blunt cutting back to the middle of that defense and getting to the 29-yard line before safety David Wilson is forced to make the tackle. That is absolutely critical for Clemson. They will try to get their running backs into that Cal secondary. You'll see 8 defensive players bunched up at the line of scrimmage, and they'll try to make their way through that gambling defense of Coach Snyder's.
Kent Baer, the defensive coordinator for Cal, said it's imperative that they do a real good job on first down and prevent the 2nd and 2s and 3s. They didn't do it that time.
Cameron uses Blunt on a power play. They use the fullback to isolate on a blocker, and Blunt hammers for a first down. Sean Eshelman making the stop for California. Rodney Williams was the #1 tailback coming into the season. He suffered a knee injury warming up prior to the North Carolina State game, re-injured the knee later in the year, and so Ronald Williams not able to go, and Rodney Blunt steps in.
Ken Hatfield says he is a very much team-oriented player, and they really like his performance this year.
First down. Cameron has time, throws, and it was dropped. Wide receiver dropped the ball. That's Dwayne Bryant, number 1, and he probably should have had this one.
See, it's just a simple, short sprint out. Stop pattern in the slot. He's going to sprint to the right side of your screen. 2 pass protector. Chidi Ahanotu, number 72, got his hands up, but not high enough to deflect it. There it is. See, you've got to reach for the ball, and don't let it always hit your pads. You've got to reach out and draw it to your body. He did not do that.
Cameron was the MVP of the Tigers' win a year ago over Illinois. They beat the Illini 30-0 over in Tampa. Here he is sprinting down, keeping it on the option, and he is popped at 37. Ryan Perry there defensively, and now a little tussle breaks out after the play.
Keep your poise, guys. This is the load option, meaning they're going to pull the guard to the right side of your screen. They're seeing him pull. The fullback's going to lead. He's not faking to anybody. He just, see, they're trying to block the people and take the quarterback. Wilson coming inside out did a good job, and so didn't get that last number there, but they did a good job of stringing that out. I'm surprised they haven't run more options to this point.
I think that was Ryan Perry there.
Was that Ryan Perry?
A year ago, Cameron was 14 of 19 for 141 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Illini. He is finding that going a little bit tougher against this very aggressive California defense. He is 0 for 3 so far this afternoon against the Bears. The ball is at the 37 with this 3rd down. He needs to get up to the 42-yard line. Firing and way out in front of Ryans that time. So Cameron starts 0 of 4, and Clemson forced the punt again.
Remember what coordinator Larry Vanderhayden said about Deshaun Cameron. He says he's got to start out good, because if he starts out good and gets hot, boy, we really play better. If he struggles early, it usually takes him a while to get going. See, he had a man open then. When you have a man open, you've got to get it to him.
Brian Triggs set to return this punt for California. Another beautiful punt. Remember, he had a spectacular return. He's almost punting too strong, isn't he? Cut back into the middle, and a nice tackle by Ashley Shepard, number 96, pulls him down there. So Pulaski and California will have the ball coming out from the 18-yard line. What surprises you so far on this one, Nick?
Well, you know, everybody has a game plan, and you prepare and prepare and prepare, and you get so much time to prepare for a bowl game like this. But normally, most things don't work as well as that first series did for Cal. You know, usually you get a thing or two stuffed in your game plan initially. For Cal, good planning, it all worked.
There are some rumors circulating about Coach Snyder's future. Even heard the dreaded words Arizona State mentioned by someone down here this week. So when you get to be successful, as he is, the rumors will start. Pulaski back, firing, complete to Dawkins. Dawkins popped after a 9-yard gain. Wayne Simmons there defensively for the Tigers.
See, they get Clemson thinking run on first down. They throw the football. This will be a pattern I think we'll see most of the first half. Clemson is liable to change up, though, and get right in. See, they're going no huddle right now. They're not going to let him breathe.
Hawley and Chapman, the running backs, but Pulaski on 2nd and 1 is going to try to get it all. Dawkins one-on-one, throws, cut, but out of bounds. Wow, that would have been something.
Dawkins is their big play receiver. We've had the opportunity to broadcast 2 Cal games, and we've seen him make the big play. See, that ball's throwing just a little too far to the outside. Got to keep that more inside, and he tries to stay inside the ball himself as a wide receiver.
Now on 3rd and 1, they can come back with a Russell White run, or even use Zomalt. They can feature him. What's impressive so far is the California offensive line is not allowing much of a pass rush. Pulaski fumble on the snap, picks it back up, and battles down in the middle. There is the best of Mike Pulaski, trying to correct a mistake. He didn't just fall on the ball. He said, let's take on a couple of defensive players, and a penalty flag comes flying.
What happens on a play like that, Brent, is many times you're going to go on a quick count, and someone else makes a noise, even a defensive signal, and it just doesn't get up there cleanly because they snap it just a little off rhythm. That time it looked like it was snapped through Pulaski's arms.
They're coming over to the sideline to tell Coach Ken Hatfield that this may have been a personal foul against Clemson.
Personal foul signal against Clemson.
And I see 89 coming off over here on the sideline. That's Brenston Buckner. We'll get a check downstairs and see if he's been ejected from this game.
I visited with him in the...
He's walking back to...
Dead ball! Personal foul! Defense! Player ejected!
Yes, indeed. He's going off. Now, Buckner would have been matched against Ozine in that switch. There's the right arm delivering what appeared to be a blow in that huddle as we rock it back and forth. And he rocked that, and we'll see it on this replay. Here it is right there, and Buckner is gone.
Boy, that's a big loss.
Now on first down, Dawkins, and respect from Tony Mooney on that side. And here's a receiver you don't want to be off of too far because he will eat you up. That's 11 more yards. Pulaski to Dawkins. What a start for the Bears.
Again, no huddle. They're going quick. They're gonna try to drain some energy out of that 300-pound front. They just drained one guy quick. He's in the locker room. And I don't think that's typical of Brenston Buckner's personality at all.
Kirkland is picked up, firing again to the sideline. So Brenston Buckner ejected from the game. He's finished for the afternoon.
I had a chance to visit with him the other day. He was really excited about playing against Russell White, but just out of respect, he said he's a great back, and I'm fired up about having the opportunity to try to tackle him.
Okay, meanwhile, back on the field, it's this offensive line of Cal that is done now. Kirkland gets in, coming, and he got the pass off anyway to Triggs. Ryan Triggs with 36 straight games with a catch. And another big play for the Bears, a 12-yard gain.
I think Ron Dickerson, the defensive coordinator from Clemson, is going to have to come up with some double zone coverages and roll up on these corners and get out of those one-on-one situations, because these kids play catch all year round in California, you know.
Pulaski is 12 of 14 for 124 yards against this defense in the early going. Kirkland backside still gets it off complete again. Caldwell. And a penalty flag thrown. Penalty flag thrown back at the 42-yard line. We talked about how they might go back to the running game in the second half. They might just stick with this passing game.
Well, in that, the no huddle thing prevents him from substituting people in there, too. I think they called roughing the passer. Here's Pulaski, number 9, middle of your screen, short sprint out, good block right there by Holly, number 5. Here they're going to come in. Oh, yeah, they hit him right there in the back after he threw the ball. Levon Kirkland, number 44, and David Davis, number 97.
Yeah, Kirkland initiated the contact. He pushed him in, and Davis couldn't avoid it.
No, I know. They're really calling this closely.
Holly and Chapman, the running backs. And Clemson reeling on defense. With a first and goal earlier, Pulaski threw it. Let's see if he does the same here. He will. Fade pattern taken away. Bullets to the end zone, incomplete. Mooney with coverage there for the Tigers.
He'd have been better off throwing that out of the back of the end zone, Brent. That was a risky throw. He had pressure on him there. Al Richard was there. Tight coverage on it. You shouldn't take a chance when you're leading like this. That's the competitive spirit in this young man.
Marvelous start for Pulaski in the Citrus Bowl.
See, the other thing, you coach a quarterback in these situations, you're already in short field goal range. Don't take a sack. Get it out of the back of the end zone.
This is the 8th pass in 9 plays on this drive, but he won't get it off. He's sacked at the 14-yard line. Here's Chester McLaughlin along with Al Richard.
Again, he could not throw the ball right when he wanted to throw the ball. Now, Pulaski, number 9, middle of your screen, coming back. See, he's going to look to the left. He wants to throw. He can't throw. He can't throw. He's holding on to the ball. Here comes Big Chester. And there's Richard on the other side. What a sandwich they made out of him that time. There's 300 pounds on each side.
Well, Troy Ozine at left tackle is simply not matching up with McLaughlin. They have moved him to the other side. Now, let's see where Chester's going to come. He's going to come down on Ozine. This time, Chester's going to take on the All-American. Ozine went down, and the back help picked him up. McLaughlin comes free, deflected, incomplete. Wayne Simmons defending Sean Dawkins that time. And the field goal unit with Doug Bryan trots onto the field. Bryan struggled for Coach Snyder against Stanford in the big game at the end of the season out of the Pac-10. He also had not kicked well in practice, according to the coach. So this is a big moment for California. Pulaski will put it down at the 21. It's a 31-yard attempt by Bryan.
He's 7 for 11 from this distance this year.
On its way and good. So you can surmise that the Buckner penalty cost his Clemson team a 3-point field goal. You can't draw a conclusion because you don't know what would have happened after the play, even if he hadn't been kicked out, but the penalty certainly moved the ball down the field. Well, this is just the start of a huge tripleheader on ABC. The big one, Washington against Michigan. Cal fans, those in the Midwest, really eager to see this year's Rose Bowl. Then, later, another team with the national championship argument. The Florida Gators will play the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame in the USF&G Sugar Bowl. So it's the Rose, the Sugar Bowl, still to come here today on ABC.
You know, Brent, I have felt all along that Washington was the best team in the country, but I really believe Michigan has improved so much through the year that it's going to be one heck of a battle, and it could go in favor of Michigan.
Well, here it is gone all California, scoring a touchdown on a 76-yard drive, then coming back with a 31-yard Bryan field goal. Coach Snyder and the Bears leading 10-0. Who would have thunk it?
Yeah, I wouldn't have. I looked for Larry Vanderheyden, the offensive coordinator for Clemson, to come out and run the option running game, because Cal doesn't see that but once a year in the Pac-10 at the Oregon State. They were the only, and Oregon State made over 200 yards running.
One of the differences when you look at the two teams, Clemson does not have that standout big play performer who can get you right back into the middle of this ball game. They're very efficient, especially defensively, and they can grind it out. But now is the kind of game when you look for someone to bust a 60 or 70-yard play, and you're just not sure if you can find the right person on the Clemson team. Something to think about here as this one continues.
Deshaun Cameron has to come up with the big plays. They've said that all along, and it's true, both in the option game and in the passing game.
And he's probably down a little bit mentally because he's not throwing the ball successfully here in the early going.
And he had one dropped.
Bryan hammers the ball to Easton at the 2-yard line. Oh, short of the 20-yard line. So Cal making all the plays as Scott Roseman, number 43, whips the return man there short of that 20. Good kickoff coverage, and California looks real sharp here in Florida. It's the first time that California's ever played a bowl game in Florida. And Cameron's 0 for 4 so far and trailing by 10 points.
Well, Coach Hatfield from Clemson said the quarterback with a hot hand will direct the winner.
And that hot quarterback so far has been Pulaski. The toss to Blunt. Blunt spins out to the 24-yard line.
See, Cal plays an 8-man front, meaning 8 people up the defensive run, and they play a 3-deep secondary, some of it man-to-man. If you run the option, it eliminates some of the man-to-man coverage. You'll see the 8 people right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there's another one out here to the right side of your screen. 8 people.
The fullback, Harris, into the middle of that defense. Nothing going.
Mick Barsala is now back in the game. He did not start. He's been their starting linebacker all year. Pasadena City College JC transfer, fine player, honorable mention, all packed in. You know, I think he's one of those guys that would go bungee jumping. You know, he's a reckless, abandoned type player.
Yes, there were several players. We get a chance, we'll show you that video, who did take that 200-foot leap. A little bungee activity down here in Central Florida. Third down. The blitz was coming. Cameron has one-on-one, looks for the big play, and it's incomplete. Terry Smith matched up on the outside, had a step. Ian Cameron could not connect. So it is 3 and out for Clemson again.
See, that tight coverage forces you to throw the ball right on the money. And Deshane Cameron came into this ball game in the completing 70 of his last 115 passes. So he came in with a real hot streak. He's got to get hot.
Well, now it's the Clemson defense or the punt defense team searching for the big play. Under pressure, he did just get that one off to Triggs.
Beautiful punt, though.
California now dictating the game as Triggs finds an alley on the left. Triggs busts free. Brian Triggs returns a punt for a touchdown. There are no penalty flags. The Golden Bears go up by 3 scores on the 72-yard punt return by Triggs.
71-yard punt return.
You'll see here, this was a good punt. It should have been able to be covered. Some Clemson players were really not sprinting to get in coverage, and then they overran the football. Didn't come to balance, as you see right there. Now there's a little block right there, and he goes ahead and takes down the sideline. Not blinding speed, good elusive runner. Longest kick punt return of his career. Came into the game with a 35-yarder being the longest. That was the biggest and the longest.
Doug Bryan adds the extra point. We're still in the first quarter, and California leads it 17-0.
Watch him set this up. He stretches it, and then he attacks it. Shake and break right there. Defender's not coming to balance. Gets a pickoff block right there. Now it's just speed. He gets a little brush block here, right here by Bryant, number 1. Sets him free. Poor coverage all the way. And Coach Hatfield said yesterday, my big concern is the kicking game, because sometimes with a long layoff, you lose your concentration. Clemson has lost their concentration in the kick game.
Well, I've got one idea for Clemson. Something they might try at halftime, Dick. Might go back in the locker room and put on the orange jerseys. Let's play this one in the orange.
Yeah, they're
California, the youngsters, when they saw him come out, they don't have any idea what the colors are over there at Clemson. They didn't know whether they're purple or green or what the deal is. If you bring them out against North Carolina State, it probably has more significance. So Brian Triggs, who has moved, I guess, to Palo Alto after his taunt prior to the Stanford game. And there's a fan that says, this is ridiculous, man. I'm going back to Clemson. What's the deal here? I'm going to go back to the SO Club. I'm going to watch the rest of this one and wait for the Rose Bowl. I've had enough.
The one thing you know about Clemson football is that it's not over until it's over. The second quarter has been their big offensive quarter, scoring 101 points in that quarter. By far their best quarter. They just got to get their motors running.
High, deep kickoff to the 1. Let's see if Easton can do any better this time. He does. Breaks free at the 30, and it'll be at the 32. And let's go down and wish a Happy New Year to Cheryl Miller. Cheryl?
Thanks a lot, Brent. Well, I found out from the officials that Brinson Buckner was indeed ejected from the game for throwing a punch. I talked to a couple of the Clemson coaches. They also told me that this would definitely affect them in the depth and stamina in this position. Brent?
Thank you very much, Cheryl. And 4 possessions for California and 3 scores. 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Clemson needs something here in a hurry. We're still in the first quarter of this one. A shocker against this defense. Harris busts it. He's in a foot race. Wilson for the angle. Wilson from the angle's got him out of bounds. A penalty flag. He may have to grab the face mask on the big fullback that time as Rudy Harris bolts 43 yards.
Rudy Harris is the fullback that broke the Duke game in Japan wide open. Had a great game rushing for 126. Watch to the right side of your screen. Good block by the tight end to the right side of your screen. They hand it off, and they just hand it off. He's reading that all the way. Poor tackle right there by the outside linebacker. Now here's a 240-pound fullback outrunning the secondary to the sideline. There's a face mask right there by David Wilson, number 25. See, they come down the line of scrimmage and read that play. If the defender is outside, they hand it off. If he closes it, the quarterback keeps it.
And there is the difficulty of having that gambling, stunting defense up front. If you break it, you can break it big at the line of scrimmage, and you've got only a defensive back to beat.
Right, the other guys are playing man-to-man.
Face mask foul, defense, first down.
Ball put on the 20-yard line for the first down. Clemson's best opportunity of the game. Bryant, the wide receiver. Hall replaces Harris as the fullback. Pair of tight ends. Blunt hit behind the line by Mac Travis. Travis comes off his block, slides in behind, and wrestles the ball carrier down. This is the biggest hole the Tigers have ever been in. They've not trailed by 17 points yet this year.
Mac Travis is a second-team All-Pac-10 defensive tackle in there, playing like a first-string Pac-10 defensive tackle right now.
A big series as Cameron, who hasn't completed a pass yet, gets one to Smith. Smith slipped a little bit, and then the cleanup man is number 55. Jared Willard along with Ryan Perry.
You can see that Jared Willard is a first-team freshman All-American. He can really move, led the team in tackles with 85. He's made a lot of big plays behind the line of scrimmage. Played on the South Shrine team in California. When you can make the South Shrine team in high school in California, you're a fine player.
Clemson forced to punt each of its first 3 possessions today. 3rd down and 7. They'll probably use both downs in an effort to get the first, trailing by 17 on the draw. Blunt is short of it. They're going to need 5 yards. I'm not so sure that Hatfield won't kick the field goal. He's going to go for the field goal here. Nelson Welsh trots out on the field with time running down. He's down by 2 touchdowns and a field goal. He has to get a field goal somewhere in this sequence, so he might as well go now because it would be 4th and 5.
You always have to be alert when you're defensing a Hatfield kicking game. They have a lot of tricks up their sleeve, believe me.
Not a whole lot of wind. I'm not sure that it makes a lot of difference if they let the time run out here for the end of the quarter. They're going to kick it before it ends. He blasted that one good, didn't he? A 32-yard field goal by Nelson Welsh. The first quarter comes to an end. 3 words describe it: wild and woolly, and mostly California, folks.
We got a problem. Any ideas?
I've got a contact, sir.
Well, get on it then.
Get him here now.
He's been with the organization for a while. Nice job, sir.
With years of training, Napa Auto Care technicians provide a secret service everyone should know about.
With service to more cities across the Atlantic than any other U.S. airline, Delta now makes it easier than ever for the people of America to get to know the people of Europe.
Buongiorno.
Bonjour.
Via.
Guten Tag.
Grüezi.
Delta. We love to fly and show.
Здравствуйте.
What do you say? What do you say?
Like a pack mule or one of them oxen. That's how I'm working this morning. By 11 o'clock, forget about it. I'm thinking Whopper at Burger King. Extra cheese, extra pickle, extra everything. By 11:30, I can taste it. That juicy flame broiled burger with all the melted cheese coming together in my mouth with the onions, lettuce, and tomato. Bada boom, bada bing. It's a beautiful thing.
Your way, right away at Burger King now.
Hi, I'm John Madden with some of America's Olympic hopefuls, announcing Chrysler Plymouth's Drive for the Goal holiday clearance. That means a donation to the U.S. Olympic team and big savings to you. Up to $2,000 or low financing. Save on Voyager and Acclaim. Get $1,000 back on Sundance. Get big savings on Imperial and LeBaron sedan. You save and the Olympic team wins. What could be better? See your Chrysler Plymouth dealers now. The holiday clearance ends soon.
The Florida Citrus Bowl. Brought to you by Mitsubishi Montero, a luxury car with the luxury of four-wheel drive. And by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light.
We're back. Clemson trailing 17-3, kicking off to start the second quarter. It has been the California passing of Mike Pulaski that has been all the difference in the world. Suave takes this one deep. Fielded at the 18 by Chapman. Chapman to the 34-yard line. 1st and 10 for Cal. All right, Dick, let's make you the defensive coordinator for the Purple Gang here. They're doing a spectacular job against the California rush, but how do they get to Mr. Pulaski?
Well, the first thing I think you got to do is get some other type of coverage on the two wide receivers, so when he sets up to throw, he has to hold the ball to allow the rush to get there. It's going to be hard to get to Cal with a direct rush because they've only given up 9 sacks on the season coming in here, Brent. So you've got to take the pattern away downfield, slow up the delivery, and then let the pressure get there.
We had more action than we had in 4 quarters in Kansas City. Now, that's something that they're just not able to do. LaVon Kirkland, number 44, and the talented linebacker, makes the stop for the Tigers. They're just not running the ball, but they've passed for better than 130 yards.
I think this no huddle, too, is just breaking the continuity of Clemson's defense. Now they're going into what I was talking about, it appears anyway, a double zone look.
McLaughlin over on Azine, a bull rush. Azine gets help. Pulaski stands in and throws high. McLaughlin was coming, but that time they gave Azine help against the big fella as we take a look at the first quarter numbers.
As you can see, time and possession is not very important. It's just more important to do a real good job with your offense. Cal not rushing the ball very well, but throwing the heck out of it.
They'll fire it again. He steps in that pocket, and he wanted Caldwell. Defending Caldwell was Kinzel Jackson, the linebacker. He was draped all over him. Good coverage that time.
That's the first series, 1, 2, 3 and out for Clemson defense. They're used to playing that kind of defense. 1, 2, 3 and get out of here.
The way the punting games have gone in the bowl game so far. Remember, Oklahoma jumped all over a Virginia punt. Clemson may try to tee off here on Chris Noonan. They also have Darnell Stevens, number 30. He is a superb deep return man, along with Robert O'Neill. Oh, they were coming down the middle that time. Stevens fumbles at the 13, picks it up. Down at the 15-yard line. A 52-yard punt by Chris Noonan. California up 17-3 in the Citrus Bowl.
The same bold engineering that made the Mitsubishi Diamante such a successful luxury performance sedan has now taken automotive luxury in an entirely different direction, introducing the all-new Mitsubishi Montero, a luxury automobile whose luxuries include state-of-the-art four-wheel drive. The 1992 Montero by Mitsubishi. The word is getting around.
What do you smell?
I can't smell anything. My nose is clogged, man.
For fast relief, try Dristan 12-hour nasal spray. Now smell.
It's an orange. Dristan nasal spray just works incredibly fast.
Dristan, the face of relief today.
Someone's taken some steps to juice up their batteries. And today's Duracell batteries can even outlast the ones we made just a few years back. You can't top the copper top.
They ate the same lunch, got the same heartburn, but his antacid is very different. His Tums has calcium. Most antacids don't. Regular Rolaids uses an aluminum salt. This uses aluminum and magnesium. So does this. Of all these, only Tums helps wipe out heartburn and gives you calcium you need every day.
Something my body needs anyway. I like that.
Calcium-rich Tums. That's the one you want.
The SEC champion Florida Gators battle the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. It's the USF&G Sugar Bowl, tonight on ABC Sports.
We're back at the Citrus Bowl with Dick Vermeil. I'm Brent Musburger. California scoring 17 points in the first quarter, leads Clemson 17-3. The Tigers breaking out the purple jerseys, come out from their own 15-yard line. Blunt busts free, and Wilson again forced to make the tackle. It's at the 25-yard line. The running game starting to open up with those big line splits now that they're using.
You mentioned big line splits. Look at this split here, good split here, good split, and huge split here. What they're trying to do is spread that gap, that front 8 defense out there, and allow a good crack for the fullback to come in and block that linebacker. Boy, that was a big hole. They moved the splits according to the play called.
Chester McLaughlin could have run through that hole.
Well, what Cal will do is when they see those big splits, they'll call a line stunt and see if they can't beat them inside.
Somebody in there and applies some pressure. There's a flag that was picked up, I believe. Let's see what he says.
Offside, defense, declined, first down.
So they made the first down on the run with the ball at the 26-yard line. And Deshaun Cameron, the senior quarterback.
You can see those splits now. Look at them, really big.
The hand to Harris. Harris muscles to the 34.
Boy, look, they're going to have to bring a backer or stun a tackle or in those gaps. Oh, talk about being on an island.
2nd and 2.
Sometimes you'll get an offensive lineman, and they'll get scared about a split like that. And as the game wears on, it gets hotter and hotter, they'll draw closer and closer to their teammates. I've seen that happen as Paul Caputo checks into the backfield. Harris blasting for the first down, and Clemson now starting to run with a purpose.
See, the one thing the big splits do, it eliminates getting help from your offensive lineman. Your guy to your inside, you're too far away from him, see? Or you can't help the guy to the outside because you're too far away. You can't zone block with those great big splits.
First and 10. Cameron with a pitch to Blunt. Well defended that time by the Bears.
See, he wanted to throw that ball, Brent. He wanted to throw it. But Chris Cannon had the receiver covered, number 18. He couldn't throw it, so he went ahead and turned it into an option running play. Good defense by Cal. Now, see, he's going to come down. He's going to be faking the option, but he wants to throw it. He wants to throw it. See, now it's taken away. Now he turns it into an option. That's tough to do. You really have to coach to get that done. Matt Travis in there putting the pressure on him.
And Ray Sanders making the stop. And it's 2nd and 16. This is a position Clemson does not like finding itself in. Cameron, with only one completed pass in 6 attempts, uses Smith, his favorite target, to go in motion. And Blunt stuffed at the 29-yard line by Brad Powers.
Brad Powers, a great big young 6'7", 255-pound player out of Bellarmine High School in San Jose. Played for the North in the Shrine Team game in California. Big young guy. I saw him the other day on the practice field. I think he's probably put on a few pounds since the start of the year, but he has great potential.
So it's 3rd and a bunch for an option team that doesn't like facing a situation like this at all. Straight back, drops it to Blunt on the screen. Alley on the left side. punt to the 44-yard line, short of the first down.
Number 18, Chris Cannon.
Chris Cannon, defensively, a 15-yard gain, so they need 4 more.
They did a nice job of executing that screen, Brent. You know, that's not a big phase of their offense, but they did a good job of executing it.
Now, you know, Clemson came into this game allowing only 86 yards on punt returns, and so far today, California has 108 yards, including a spectacular 72-yard return for a touchdown by Brian Triggs, as Chuck Lynch is back to punt again. He booms one to Mr. Triggs. From the 15 to the middle, dives to the 26-yard line. That'll be California ball. A 9-yard return off that 40-yard Lynch punt.
When you're looking good, you want Bud Light. The clean, fresh taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. You can taste it, you can feel it, you know you got it right. Everything else is just a light. Keep your Bud Light shining. Everything else is just a light. You got to shine on. Everything else is just a light.
Just flakes, huh? A little old-fashioned, don't you think? It's too simple. I mean, I know you're going for that good old days thing, but all this makes me think of is the Depression. Now, wait a minute. This doesn't taste old-fashioned. It's good. I like this simple. I like it a lot.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
Taste them again for the first time.
Before purchasing an object of considerable value, some feel it's wise to have it appraised. Appraisals are now in on the new Mitsubishi Diamante. Needless to say, we're very pleased. The Diamante by Mitsubishi. The word is getting around.
The Fighting Tigers of Clemson University wish you a Happy New Year 1992. And watch out for the paw.
Well, that paw has been rather soft here in the first half so far, yielding 17 points. Clemson, a winner of the ACC. This is the last year of their agreement to send their champion to the Citrus Bowl. Russell White on a cutback against that tough run defense. Gets 3 yards and no more. Ashley Shepard is there. Let me follow up on that Citrus Bowl story, because next year, and let's compliment Jim Delaney for a strong, smart move here. The runner-up in the Big Ten is going to come to Orlando, Florida, and play here in the Citrus Bowl against an at-large team that well could be one of the top teams out of the Southeastern Conference. As the ACC goes off to that bowl alliance, it is suddenly up in the air. The third-place Big Ten team will go to the Holiday Bowl. So some great sights for Big Ten fans, as this one is deflected by Rob Bodine, the walk-on nose man out of North Dakota, who has done a spectacular job in that spot for Coach Ken Hetfield.
Bodine, as we were talking to him the other day, he works on a dude ranch, right? Yeah, he knew a little bit about where you come from in Montana, too, didn't he?
Yeah, we tell North Dakota jokes in Montana.
Yeah. Here he is, number 99, the middle of your screen. Goes from a walk-on to an All-American. Good job by Bodine.
Suddenly, Pulaski is cold. He's missed his last 5 passes. He was blazing in the early going in this one. Now faces a third down against this Clemson defense. Short drop, has time. Sidearms it to Caldwell, but that's short of a first down. California forced the punt as Norris Brown gets it done defensively for the Tigers.
Well, Pulaski came up there and read blitz, man-to-man coverage, and he went ahead and checked to a man-man pattern. Good tackling, prevented the first down.
The last time Cal went back to punt, and here he is, Chris Noonan, there was enormous pressure up the middle. Clemson came very close to blocking the last punt.
He hasn't had one blocked all year, but that doesn't mean it doesn't happen now. But they did get great pressure last time.
They put Robert O'Neill here on the left side. They're going to try to get something going off the corner. They've moved O'Neill up tight. Hatfield trying to go for it. Here they come. Easton, he could not get there. The punter is down. There is no flag. This is Stevens from the 19-yard line. Stevens dancing. Will not get away and out of bounds at the 18-yard line. A 48-yard punt. Brilliant punt. And a -1 on the return. Cal's punt team doing an excellent job here today.
The same bold engineering that made the Mitsubishi Diamante such a successful luxury performance sedan has now taken automotive luxury in an entirely different direction, introducing the all-new Mitsubishi Montero, a luxury automobile whose luxuries include state-of-the-art four-wheel drive. The 1992 Montero by Mitsubishi. The word is getting around.
This year in Lake Edna, the best place to watch the big game was Al's Discount TV and Appliance Emporium. Knowing a good deal, Al got some KFC Super Buckets. He got 15-piece buckets, variety buckets with 3 kinds of chicken, and jumbo buckets of 36 hot wings. Just $9.99 each. Everyone went home happy, especially Clara Campbell, who bought a juicer at halftime. New KFC Super Buckets, just $9.99. A great deal in Lake Edna or your neck of the woods.
With service to more cities across the Atlantic than any other U.S. airline, Delta now makes it easier than ever for the people of America to get to know the people of Europe.
Buongiorno.
Bonjour.
Sia.
Guten Tag.
Grüezi. Delta, we love to fly and it shows.
Здравствуйте. With Florida's ideal growing conditions and subtropical climate, citrus grown here is juicier and sweeter than citrus grown in arid regions.
9:42 to go here in the first half of the Citrus Bowl. California playing on New Year's Day for the first time since the '59 Rose Bowl. Leading Clemson 17-3. The Tigers have won 5 straight bowl games. And now Deshaun Cameron, who's won 85% of his starts, faces an uphill battle against this tough Cal defense. And the fullback, Harris, is stuffed that time. The big play of the game so far belongs to California. And it was Brian Triggs with this 72-yard punt return, Dick.
And you just don't see many punt returns for touchdowns. I think we've seen one all year, and this is like our 30th game this year. Outstanding play by Brian, and he hasn't broken the log punt return all year. Coming into the ball game, 35 yards was his longest one. Here he is, breaking the record at the right time.
And again, we go back to the top of the broadcast. The difference, California has big players. And now it is Cameron who has to come back for Clemson, throwing high and out of bounds to Bryant. Throwing hard the run, and under pressure, he overthrew the wideout, number 1 Bryant. He is now 2 of 8 for 19 yards throwing the ball. And when you're trying to come from behind, you need accuracy at that spot.
And he has been the kind of quarterback. If he starts out hot, he gets harder. If he starts out cold, he struggles. This is what the coaches were concerned about.
The Cal defensive staff very aware that they're trying to spring the fullback. And on that first down play, they jumped all over Rudy Harris. Now it's a single back attack for Clemson on 3rd and 10 as Blunt goes in motion. Cameron under pressure, sack. Hammered at the 8-yard line. Paul Joyner busts through.
Paul Joyner getting his chance to play today because of being the starter being disciplined, and here he is making big plays out of Muir High School in Southern California. 47, the middle of your screen. He's going to be blitzing left side. Here he comes right up the gut. No one comes off and picks him up. Hey, no one blocks it. You ought to sack the quarterback.
And the Clemson punter, Chuck Lynch, standing in his own end zone. And Triggs will try to do business again. High punt. Triggs signals for the fair catch at the 47-yard line with 8:11 to go. The California Golden Bears take over after the 38-yard punt. An impressive performance by California. The youngsters on that team were embarrassed by what happened in Palo Alto against Stanford. They got a little bit out of control, lost their poise in that game, had a number of unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, roughing the passer, several other things that occurred in that game. They were determined to come back here and make a statement today, and so far they have, playing tough, aggressive football, dominating Clemson for the most part, 17-3. Fine show by Bruce Snyder and his staff. Pulaski drops the screen to Chapman. Chapman steps away from the defender and breaks to the 30, the 20, and out at the 10-yard line. And you would have to say that California looks much quicker than Clemson.
You'll see the running back coming out set and work with the screen. Then the peel-off system get out there to help out. Good call on first down. See, they lose him. See, they're rushing. No one picks him up right there. He gets it. Now he gets the kick-out block right there. Now just good running skills. Blocks downfield. Little poor tackling there. Not coming to balance. Brush block there. Big play, Cal.
So the ACC being tarnished a little bit here in the early going as Russell White cuts into the 3-yard line. A powerful run. Robert O'Neill making the stop. There was White's best run of the game.
See, they're getting them rattled a little bit, and they felt if they could shake them up and do all these other things, then they could run on them. There's Coach Snyder right there in the middle of your screen. I think he felt maybe someone hit Russell just a little bit late. Where's the flag, he's saying.
Second down. White stops short of that goal.
You know, Russell ran for 229 yards to beat USC this year. That's a lot of yards against the USC defense. And they weren't as good as they normally are, but that's still a lot of yards. But he's been a guy, if his motor is running, he's as good as any back in the country.
The ACC, Georgia Tech staged a fine comeback. Great punt return by Clay to beat Stanford. But Virginia blown out by Oklahoma. And now California threatening to really pull out on Clemson in the first half. Fake toss, Pulaski rolling to the right, fires high and out of the end zone. He was being well pursued that time.
I don't know why they did that, Brent. From here, it looks like they could have made a first down before they make a touchdown. You'll see here, it's good fake if it works. Fake the toss to Russell. He's the guy that's been the horse that got him down there. But they had a chance for a first down. Well, they're going to go ahead for it right now.
It'll be tough going against this Clemson run defense. This is their strength. White's the running back. Here he comes. White for the touchdown. He walks in, angling to the left. Greg Zomalt blows the way open, and the Bears are blowing apart Clemson.
Just the deep ice slant play, middle of your screen, tailback. He comes off. The offensive line does a nice job right here. They come off the ball. Good guard step around. Good block by the fullback, Zumalt. He walks in, shows the fans the ball. Here he goes again. Left guard pulls around. Good block right there by Anasema Sagapulo.
They're going for two off the toss to Zomalt. There's a penalty flag. They pulled the trick play. They came out and quickly lined up. And they had the underhanded toss for the two-point conversion. But let's let the referee sort this one out. Well, it's against Clemson.
They're pulling out all stops.
So the two-point conversion, and there's a discussion now about the legality of it. So let's see the referee sort this one out.
They went from the third down play, no substitutions, Brent, so they can't be discussing an illegal substitution.
I think Coach Snyder is ready to run on the field with a rule book.
can't see what the debate would be.
Illegal motion, offense, offside, defense, offset, replay.
Okay, let's do it again. And let's bet that they don't do that play again, all right? Here at the moment. Well, they're going to line up the same way, folks. This is the same lineup.
This time they shift it over.
This time, so instead of 25, it'll be 24-3. You didn't see it the first time, folks. It doesn't matter. It didn't count. Never happened. Just pretend it never happened. Okay, 24-3, and we're coming back.
When I've got the flu, I just want to crawl into a warm pair of flannel pajamas, hide under a warm down comforter. I just want to wrap myself in warmth.
That's why there's Tylenol Cold and Flu Hot Liquid, with more medicine than any other hot liquid flu formula, plus the Tylenol name you've always trusted. So it helps relieve your flu symptoms while it wraps you in soothing warmth. Tylenol Cold and Flu. Nobody cares for your flu like Tylenol Cold and Flu.
For the battery that performs 3 times better than industry standards, you've got to get to Sears.
Out here, if you don't have a Die-Hard, you don't have a prayer.
Sears Die-Hard. More power when you need it most.
Who's going to back it better than Sears?
I have Denorex on this side. As soon as I put Denorex on my hair, I felt like the itch was going away. The tingle feels like it's taken away the dandruff.
Denorex with conditioners, the dandruff shampoo you can feel working.
I have no dandruff, and I have no itch.
Napoleon, what with your hand in the jacket? People are talking.
Josephine, my briefs are killing me.
Oh, I have just the thing.
Fruit of the loom.
Totally comfortable.
Hey, c'est magnifique, eh?
How about that waistband?
It's super comfortable, mais oui.
And that soft pre-shrunk cotton?
Feels great. Down to the skin.
Ooh la la.
For classic comfort, pick Fruit of the Loom briefs.
No, leave the hat on.
We are back at the Citrus Bowl in Orlando, Florida, and I'm Brent Musburger with Dick Vermeil. And folks, Dick assured me that Clemson would just be too much for California to handle in this one. Happy New Year, Dick, as we ring in 1992. That's the last time I'm going to dial your number. It's the kickoff. Drive back way deep in the end zone. It's going to come out now on the 20-yard line. Dick, now, for Clemson, it's like an option team. It's like the old wishbone teams of Barry Switzer. So hard to come from behind in this situation.
It is tough, but they've been a good second-half team. They played better from the second quarter on. They've played a little better defensively, except for the finesse plays, the screens and those kind of plays. They look a step slow in getting out into the perimeter from the inside out on that defense.
Clemson has punted 5 times in this game already. They have one 32-yard field goal. That's their only score of the game. Their defense came in allowing just 5 rushing TDs, and already today they've given up 2. Now they put the left-hander Moncrief in at quarterback. No, check that. That's still Cameron. That's still Cameron. I was ahead of myself. That comes in the second half, doesn't it? That comes in the second half.
If this guy Cameron is capable of, once he gets going, to really go in a hot streak.
And there he is with his helmet on. He's the young man who played against Duke over in the Tokyo Bowl when Clemson traveled over there. Cameron with a nicked up ankle, now rolling to the right, away from the pressure, firing, complete to Smith. Out of bounds at the 29-yard line, so they're still going to need a good 5 yards here for a first down. The start of a big day on ABC. Who, Dick, is going to win the Granddaddy, the Rose Bowl, between Washington and Michigan?
Well, if I were going to pick them, and you know how good I am at that, I'd have to go with Washington. I think they're the best team in the country.
That's the best news that the state of Michigan has ever received. Right?
But Michigan is very much capable of winning the ball game. You know that.
Notre Dame and Florida, and just when everybody says the Fighting Irish are finished, can't do it, Beware of them in a bowl game, huh, folks, as Lou Holtz becomes the defensive coordinator for this one. Oh, 6 on 3rd down conversion. Cameron firing. There's his first 3rd down conversion. And it is Smith who is out of bounds. Chris Cannon there defensively. Clemson badly needs a touchdown here late in the first half, something to build on at halftime.
Well, you know, if you move the ball well enough, you're eventually going to get it in the end zone. But what they did that time is they converted for the first time in a while. They've got to keep the ball moving. It's not their style of attack to score in one play. So they have to just be as efficient as they possibly can, especially on 1st down.
Coach Snyder over there saying, move, block, move. Blunt, cut back. 38-yard line. Boy, California is such a different team than they were against Stanford, playing with a crispness. If there's anything that surprises me overall in this game, it's the fact that California looks so much quicker than Clemson in this game. I'm really surprised about that.
Well, I am not as surprised that they're quicker. I'm surprised that they're doing so well of handling the power of Clemson, the big strength, strong guys.
What they're doing coming from angles, changing up with their fronts. They've been able to get pressure on Cameron. These men down in the trenches doing an excellent job. There'll be pressure. Cameron steps away from it now. Big opening on the left. Cameron in a foot race. Cameron inside the 20. Touchdown Clemson. There's the big play. Deshaun Cameron pops one in. 62 yards.
This time, the quickness of the Cal, they over-pursued a little bit. They get in there. See, there's Barcelo 13. They read the fake. Now watch him get up inside. See, now they really get going. Now this guy has really improved his scrambling ability this year. And here he is going to take it all away. He gets a nice block from Larry Ryan's down there, just enough to screen him and allow him in the end zone. Big, big play. Not designed, but the results are the same.
And the extra point by Nelson Welsh. And just like that, it's 24-10.
Here's another look at it. Rick Stockstill, the quarterback coach, told me that this guy has improved his scrambling ability. He didn't scramble much earlier because he likes to throw the football. I bet he's glad he scrambled on that one.
Sure glad they didn't switch to the left-hander.
You know, you're talking about that Duke game. They came back from being behind in that 4th quarter in the Duke game and did a real good job of putting some points on the board.
That's the longest run of the season for a Clemson back.
Well, when they lost Williams, you know, he had a 56-yard long yard run. When they lost him, they lost an awful lot of their offense. But they felt in losing him, it spread the responsibility for winning and execution and offense to everybody else. And they felt the offense improved.
The young man, Deshaun Cameron, we were talking about his future. He'd like to play in the NFL, but he realizes he's a little small for an NFL quarterback. But he said, tell the folks up in the Canadian Football League that I would love to come up there. 3 downs to make 10 yards, wider field, I can do it. I would think right now that the Rocket is saying, go get me Cameron. I can use him.
Could use some help. You know, he's already graduated from college. He's taken a few graduate courses now, so he's out of school.
Now it will be up to the Clemson defense. And as we look back at the Clemson record book, that's the longest run by a Tiger quarterback in 13 years. That's a lot of good quarterbacks, especially runners. Kicking along the ground, fielded by Holly. Holly at the 40-yard line. California's ball with 4:40 to go. Clemson wants badly to get it back before intermission.
Now, Clemson's got to do a real good job in this series and get the ball back quickly, Brett. They can't give them another big play. I think you might see a little more man-to-man coverage so they can do a better job of defensive screen plays, because when you're man-to-man on a screen call, you have a linebacker locked on to the receiver, and he follows him right to where they're going to throw in the ball and usually makes the play.
Chapman, the running back. The wide men are out to Pulaski's right. Chapman, the middle for 4 yards to the 45-yard line. And Arthur Bussey there defensively.
Chapman has been very effective in the games that we've seen him play, especially against University of Washington. He broke a big one up inside. His birthday is today.
This is just what you'd want in a bowl game. I've seen some dull defensive games so far in a bowl season. This one is anything but. Pulaski hands, and the defense does the rest. It's going to be 3rd and about 3 yards coming up as Warren Forney, number 90, made the snap.
You know, I really watched the offensive guard on that play pull and block. That's Anase Mosagapulo. He's about, they list him at 6 foot, but he's more like 5'9", 335. And when he comes out, he doesn't have to bend over very far to get under your pads to block you.
Pulaski has time, sprinting to the left, and a first down. And he took the defender on. Pulaski just giving up his body on that far side. He had played mostly safety in high school.
The first time I ever saw him play football, he was covering kickoffs as a kickoff coverage guy as the 3rd quarterback a couple years ago. Here he is. Look at, he's tough. He wears the mask. His idol's Jim McMahon.
You get a youngster named Pulaski, and you think you got a defensive lineman to begin with, and that's how he played that game. Let's go. Let's play. 1st and 10. Pulaski sets the screen beautifully. And the tackle at the 40 on Greg Zumwalt. So this puts him in 2nd and short. Here comes this Cal offense again.
Yeah. You see, those kind of screen plays force defensive linemen to come off their rush, get off the block, and chase the ball carrier, the receiver, and that gradually wears you down.
Are you shocked that Chester McLaughlin has taken another break?
No. Not at all.
On 2nd down, the hand to Russell White. Now here's where they want to use White, close to the first down, to the 35-yard line. They feel that this defense might be just a touch winded. They've been on the field a lot, and they're going to try to bring it down.
I'd like to see him toss Russell White the ball outside, wide side of the field, and make the defense chase him to the sideline, because he really runs outside well. In fact, he runs anywhere he wants to most of the time.
What's your feeling about White? He's made an announcement that would indicate he's going to stay in school next year. Is that a good idea?
I think so. I think he needs another year of maturing. He could very well be the finest running back in the country next year as he matures. And you know the offense is going to be good and well coached when you have people like Steve Mariucci and Bill Cockerham and Tom Keel and Dan Casoto and Dick Arbuckle coaching that offensive football team. They'll be good.
This could be the most important defensive series of the game for the Tigers. With 2:40 to go in the first half, they're down 24-10. And McLaughlin watching his teammates. They take themselves out of the lineup whenever they want for Clemson. Somewhat unusual maneuver for some of their stars, but they substitute themselves. Here's the play you wanted, Dick. The toss to White. Dives out of bounds at the 29-yard line. Good gain on first down.
That made a heck of a call.
Good call.
Good call. When you run outside, you have to get a block by your tight end. Brent Woodhull does a good job, and you need a block by your fullback. Right here, Zumwalt, 28. See, he gets a knockdown. That gives him the corner, makes everybody else pursue, move the chains.
Zumwalt playing a heck of a game. He scored the first touchdown. He's blocked very well. He's caught passes. And he makes it easy for this fella. Here he is again doing just that. A knockdown on a linebacker. White does the rest. Out of bounds at that 20-yard line. What a splendid game plan. Keep White away from the attack in the early going until we think we've got the defense just a little tired. Don't let them shut our best running back down early.
Yeah, and you'll see why he runs efficiently here. Watch, Zumwalt gets a block. Then both wide receivers are out doing a good job getting their block. Sean Dawkins says my scholarship includes blocking, so he does it.
Now the Clemson defense needs a stop. It's 1st and 10 for Cal at the Clemson 20-yard line. White makes the most of that run for 3 yards, and Jackson, who's been active defensively, bringing him down for the Tigers. We have not heard much of number 44, Kirkland, on this Clemson defense, or even 93, McDaniel. Looking at those numbers, they're both out too.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Pulaski come with a bootleg off that type of action, Brent, because
So
there was no backside that time.
Watching this series, their backups out there. A play fake by Pulaski, rolls around, still on the roll. He keeps it, and he is out of bounds.
2 in a row. I saw on the last counter play that they ran, the backside was really there. The coaches also saw it, so they pull the lineman, fake that run. See, now he comes out there. He gets outside contain. He wanted to throw good coverage downfield by the defense. He goes ahead, tucks it under his arm, and runs.
Levon Kirkland trots onto the field. He'll be lined up at the left outside as the rush man in this 3rd down. Big 3rd down here for California.
Broken play.
Slips.
Broken play.
He is down. California will go for the field goal.
They're excited about the stop. The offense stopped themselves that time. Somebody fouled up.
What Clemson needs more than anything in the world at 125 and down by 2 touchdowns is a blocked field goal. We got a timeout called by the Clemson defense. So we've got an opportunity here, and let's take a look at what's ahead of us on prime time.
Thursday. People pushing it to the limit.
Every act, every move I make has a consequence.
For the thrill of it.
You just gotta love this sport. You just gotta love it.
And on the job.
Things go wrong. People do die.
Experience life on the extreme edge. Thursday at 9, 8 Central.
He's a big-time bank robber. He's a small-time outlaw. And she's the reason they're on the run. Nick Nolte, Martin Short, 3 Fugitives Sunday.
Well, here at the Citrus Bowl, California leading Clemson 24-10. We'd like to welcome you folks who just watched East Carolina win a big one, coming from behind over North Carolina State. 37-34 the final in that game. They were down 34-17. So the Pirates, with a wonderful season and a win in their bowl game and another loss by the ACC. Their only win so far by Georgia Tech, and Bobby Ross, the architect there, hit the road for the NFL, being named the head coach of the San Diego Chargers. He's a wonderful coach. He won his national championship here in this bowl last year. 33-yard field goal on its way off to the right and close. Good. Doug Bryan, a 33-yarder. And it's 27-10.
Well, Coach Snyder said he wanted to recapture the personality of the team prior to that Stanford game. They lost their composure in the Stanford game. The team was embarrassed about it. He was embarrassed about it. It's obvious they've regained that personality.
We'd have a game if Clemson had showed up here with a defense.
Well, you know, they're not used to seeing this kind of football week in and week out in the ACC.
What's different about it?
Well, they do more things with the ball. And there's so many skilled athletes. In the Pac-10, a lot of times, you get a guy open, you complete it. A lot of passes in the ACC are not defended, they're thrown incomplete.
Does that bode trouble for Michigan?
Michigan can play. Michigan can play.
What's the Big Ten in bowl so far this year? I think they're 1-1-1 with Ohio State trailing Syracuse the last time I checked. Bryan kicking off a 27-10 entertainer here in the Citrus Bowl. Lions will down it for the touchback. You can check how the different conferences have done overall, and you can see, backing up what Dick Vermeil says, the Pac-10 has won 54% of its bowl games. But the ACC, too, has been a good bowl conference, largely because of Clemson. This year, there's what the three have done, but the ACC has changed already, as North Carolina State has lost. Isn't that right? First and 10 for Clemson. We get word that there's still 6 seconds left in that North Carolina State game. So that one's not quite a final. Here's the handoff to Blunt. Blunt to the 24-yard line. Marsala and Sanders there defensively.
You know, you see the hole, but what Cal is doing with their quickness, they get to the hole. It looks like it's there, and then all of a sudden, boom, there's 2 guys.
Now Cameron. To Blunt.
You know, I was on the practice field the other day, and I watched Cameron closely, and he threw the ball awfully well. Nice tight spirals, very accurate.
51 seconds left for the Tigers and a first down. Derek Witherspoon checks in, and that's what's coming up at halftime. Cameron gets one-on-one with Smith. Smith with Cannon, and Cannon defends it at the 20-yard line.
Good defense by Chris Cannon. He came into the ball game with 5 pass interceptions. Should have had his 6th one right there, but he'll settle for that with 38 seconds left in the half. Good job of playing pass defense by Chris Cannon. See, this guy here, and he can also leap. He didn't have to there, but he was a 6'8" high jumper in high school. So he's a real fine athlete playing good secondary coverage.
Final half minute here, the first half at the Citrus Bowl. Cameron. And there's the completion. At the 33-yard line, Ray Sanders delivers the hit on Ty Gibson, the tight end. The seconds ticking down. And East Carolina's win. Syracuse still ahead of Ohio State in the 3rd quarter. Now Cameron. Incomplete, stopping the clock with 11 seconds to go.
Brent, their wide receiver routes are so short that they're barely getting around the linebackers as they curl back inside. You know, they've got to stretch those patterns a little bit more.
So the final 11 seconds. But the big play by Cameron, the 80-yard drive he engineered with the 62-yard run for the touchdown. Now they hurry up at 11 seconds, and this is one of those plays where they sprinted the punter out onto the field.
Cal had some problem getting the return people on properly and the other people off properly.
3 timeouts to go. If they had turned it over quickly here on this 4th down and long, California would have had a free shot at the end zone. They did not want to give a long field goal or a pass an opportunity to be successful here. And a reminder that January 11th on ABC, national crowns and Olympic berths on the line. U.S. Figure Skating Championships presented by Diet Coke and NutraSweet. It'll be the season premiere, and our top male skaters will compete for the national title. Later in the prime time special at 9 Eastern, the women will take on the ice for the ladies final and live. Christy Yamaguchi. That's all coming up in January on ABC. There's where they will skate for the glory at the Orlando Arena. Not far here from the Citrus Bowl.
Everybody back in Oakland, Vegas. How you doing?
Everybody's doing fine back there in the Bay Area, and very pleased that you guys are being successful here in the state of Florida. Terrific performance by the Bears in the first half. You couldn't have asked for a better job. One of the things to keep in mind with bowl games, the halftimes run a little bit longer than normal, and sometimes you play 2 football games rather than 1. You don't want to lose that momentum that you had going in the first half. Treggs, who had a spectacular punt return for a touchdown, makes a fair catch. Final 4 seconds coming up.
4 seconds.
Cal has been so aggressive the whole ball game with their offense. Here, I kind of doubt they'll do anything. Maybe they'll go ahead and throw the big alley-oop and try to lay one down there, but 4 seconds is no sense in fooling around.
After our intermission, Clemson will have the ball. They will receive the kickoff. They get the first possession. And California will take this lead on into the locker room. They're going to be very content to go in there with a 27-10 lead.
Watch him make a flop on and throw it deep.
I'm watching.
So we're going to return with our halftime activities after this message and a word from our ABC station. You see the chancellor leading them to the locker room. He's excited.
Don't I know you?
The Florida Citrus Bowl, brought to you by Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering.
Clemson trailing by 3 scores as we begin the second half, and let's check in with Cheryl Miller. Cheryl?
Brent, I spoke with Coach Hatfield at the end of the first half, and I asked him if he was surprised that Cal scored so easily and so many points, and he said, no, Cheryl, Cal is a great team. He said that they were passing the ball very effectively and that all season they've had problems defensively handling the pass. But the one problem he said that he was very disappointed with his players was the lack of effort and heart. And he said the only way that his team could get back into this game is with a complete and total team effort. As for Cal, well, Coach Snyder said that he was very pleased offensively. He said the passing game was extremely effective, and towards the second quarter, they got the running game going. He said the only disappointment defensively, we were there to make the plays. We simply weren't making the tackles. And I'll tell you right now, Brent, this game was built as Cal's finesse against Clemson's power. The finesse team is winning so far.
I would say 27-10 as we take a look at the numbers, Dick, from the first half.
Well, you can see it's obvious that the total yards are in favor of Cal, but not as much as the score. Neither team has turned the ball over. The kicking game breakdown by Clemson. Long punt return, then long punt return for a touchdown. That has really killed them as much as anything.
Now, here's how these two teams really got ready for this bowl game. Forget all this stuff about training tables and practices, folks. Here they come from a couple hundred feet. Oh, mama, I'm all right.
It was something different, and you know how kids are. Probably at that age, I'd have done it myself.
They asked me to go with them, and I said, no way, and I don't want you to go. We put a cap on that, actually.
I'd been sure I'd have checked the length of that rope before I jumped up there, though. I know that.
You know, Coach, excuse me, Brent, Coach Snyder's daughter did it.
That's right.
Yeah, she went up. Covering me.
So did our spotter, Jimmy Tubbs.
No, but he's crazy.
How come you didn't go? I thought you were next.
No guts. No guts.
Folks, I got no guts. I don't do that either. That's the thrill of the 90s. 1992, a little bungee jumping down here in Orlando, Florida in 1966. Virginia was way up on Clemson 35-17, and so my spotter up here, he survived, folks. He's going to do it again. Look, we don't have anything down on his ankles down there to hold him up.
I know. I asked him 3 times, you can back out. We won't call you a coward. You know, I was more nervous than he was.
Oh, it was something. Looking right straight up there, a couple hundred feet. Yeah. He showed me something. Well, Kenny Hatfield now will try to show us something. They have not allowed a touchdown in the third quarter yet this year. They're down by 3 scores. Let's remember that. They trail it by 17 points, so 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions still don't get the job done. They figure to handle the ball about 8 times here in the second half. They trail 27-10, but the key thing for them will be what they can do defensively. And this young man, too, can make it tough on him. Doug Bryan, he's kicking very well here today, unlike in their last game back in Northern California. So this could cap off a spectacular season for the Golden Bears of California and Bruce Snyder. And there are many loyal fans all across the country have to be delighted with what they're watching here. Ryans now trying to ignite Clemson. Brings it out to the 25, and we should point out that, yes, it has rained lately. Some shoving going on down there. You see Gibson, the tight end, into it with a couple of Bears. There has been a little precipitation here at halftime. We'll see how this field holds up. It is a gorgeous field. It was Bermuda grass, and when it goes dormant in the fall, then they top it off with the ryegrass, and this is one of the best grounds crews in America down here.
You can see by that graphic that Clemson has a past history of being strong in the second half in bowl games over the last 4 times out.
So Blunt's still the tailback, Harris the fullback, Cameron, who had a 62-yard run for a touchdown, quarterbacks. And the first hand is to Blunt. And Blunt powers behind the offensive line to the 32-yard line. And Chidi Onatu. Chidi bang bang.
I knew you were going to use that, you know. Chidi's a good football player for him, and he's also an outstanding student, going to go to med school, has a brother at Stanford University, has a brother at MIT, a very bright family, has made all Pac-10 academic teams in the past, though he didn't make it this year.
Coaches trailing want that positive statement when their first possession of the second half. Let's see what happens for Ken Hatfield and Clemson. Harris gets outside on the slant, running room, and forces the cornerback, Chris Cannon, to make the stop. First down, Clemson.
See, the thing they're doing, again, they're using the big splits. They kept the line of scrimmage clean, meaning they didn't allow any penetration. And Harris just slid along the line of scrimmage and then bounced it outside. Big guy and quick enough to get outside as well.
Off to a good start, those 7 carries. They'll need him here in the second half. Blunt, stuffed by number 58, Mac Travis.
See, he tried to cut back. He didn't get the cutoff block from his backside guard, and Mac Travis came in and made the play. Playing very well today. I can remember doing a ball game a few years ago at Cal, and I said Cal wasn't going to win until they had defensive linemen comparable to the team that was beating him. This year we're at Cal. Mac Travis walked over before practice. He says, "How do I look now, Coach?" Hey, Mac, you look great.
Second and long. Cameron, plenty of time, rolls right, throws high, complete. Nice grab by Smith.
Number 24, Terry Smith.
Terry Smith is the fastest receiver on the team. He's making here his 46th catch of the year. He's in the top 5 in Clemson in about 3 different receiving categories. He's only a redshirt sophomore, but the fastest receiver on the team.
3rd and 1 for Clemson. Howard Hall and Paul Caputo check into the backfield. Blunt out. They load up with the big fellas behind Cameron.
They like to give the ball to the big fella in this situation, the fullback.
And Harris stood up beautifully by Cannon at the line. Number 18.
I don't think he made it, Brent. But I'll tell you what I would do right now if I were the head coach. I'd go ahead for the 4th down play and see if I couldn't make it. You have momentum, you're moving the ball. This series, as you said earlier, is critical to start out successful. Go ahead and take a shot. See, he gets his pads down there, but Cannon and then the rest of the people rally and stop him from making the first down.
4th down and short. Cameron looking over at the sideline, the play coming out. The Tigers are 10 of 13 on 4th down conversions this season. With that rain falling here again in Orlando. They'll have to hurry against the clock. Harris, he may have reached out for it. Ryan Perry holding on.
Effort alone has made that. Good penetration by Cal defense. They had him by the feet and the hips, but they couldn't get him down. I think they're going to have to measure it. You'll see what I'm talking about, second effort. Little penetration inside. See that Ryan Perry, number 55, he hits him up high. Now he's just picking up those legs over that stack right there, and we'll find out now if they made the first down.
They didn't get the most favorable spot, did they, on that?
No.
But they still got it.
I think Hatfield is a good motivator, and I think at halftime he probably rallied the troops pretty good. Very religious guy. I know he didn't get mad at him or use any language that would be wrong, but he got after him, I'm sure.
This is the 10th straight time, 10 straight years that Hatfield has taken a team to a bowl game, either the Air Force Academy, Arkansas, or now Clemson, 2 straight years. 1st and 10. Here's the end around. It's Lyons with that speed looking for an alley. Well defended by Cal, I thought that time. Lyons, a talented sprinter. All-American in his high school days as a hurdler. Got to the 39-yard line.
See, they toss it deep. You can see Ryan's in the middle of your screen coming around. That good speed. Ryan's uncle was John Gilliam, the fine receiver from the Minnesota Vikings. Last year was 1977, showing his uncle's speed on that reverse.
Second down and 4. Here's Harris on that slant. He and Cannon are having some kind of duel. And now Clemson trying to get it together emotionally. This is a fired-up Tiger team right now with about 20,000 of their fans here in attendance. They are loyal. It doesn't matter how hard it rains. You'll see these Clemson folks sticking here.
Again, they're using the big splits, isolating one-on-one blocking, giving a big area for a defender to fill. Cal is going to have to get in those gaps, Brent, get in and get some penetration. Maybe line up and slant into them rather than line up in them.
So a first down by that much. First down just inside the 35-yard line for Clemson. Cameron steps away from the first defender, breaks a tackle, and is loose on the left. Out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Boy, he made the most out of nothing that time.
You bet. Cal would almost be better off letting him throw the ball. It might be incomplete. Two big plays that he has made today have been on the same action. Sprint right, set up, nothing there, take off and scramble. Big running play. He has not been known for his ability to do this. This is something he's starting to mature at, and he's doing a good job right now and picking a good time to do it.
He's rushed for 81 yards, 62 of them on one carry for a touchdown. First down for Clemson inside the Cal 15, opening possession here of the second half. Here's Blunt, who slips. That wet surface now, remember, here in Orlando, and it made it a little difficult for him to get a grip.
You know, if you're running at people and making yards, going straight at them, don't go parallel. Stay after them, keep your linemen coming off the ball, hit those gaps. That's the best thing they've been doing.
I'll tell you, though, Dick, one of the best moves that they've had has been that slant play off the tackle with the fullback.
Right at him, and he just keeps finding that crack.
Howard Hall is now the fullback. It's a 2nd and 14 for Clemson. The option, and Cameron slips.
They were in an unbalanced line that time, Brent. He was trying to go out and run the option, and he slipped, as you said. See, these kind of things in their style of football, the coach does not like.
Well, what's really troublesome here is that a timeout has been called. When you're coming from behind, you're going to need all three. And Clemson uses one of them right here.
It didn't happen in Germany, nor in Japan. It happened right here. An all-new car, born of intelligent engineering. The Oldsmobile 88 Royale. You've seen it, now come drive it. Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering.
Now, get 2.9% APR financing for up to 48 months.
Hurry to Red Lobster for the Shrimp Feast. Start with shrimp cocktail, followed by sizzling shrimp scampi, succulent grilled shrimp, and large butterflied shrimp. Mmm, what a meal. Now you know why it's called the Shrimp Feast, only at Red Lobster.
It's Red Lobster's lunch special. For a short time, get shrimp and chicken for just $3.99. Golden fried shrimp and grilled chicken breast with salad and baked potato, only $3.99. Now, every day at Red Lobster for lunch.
If potato chips are gonna cross your lips, keep them fresh, make them fine all the time. That's Pringles, pop the Pringles. Not like chips in a bag, they don't stay fresh, it's a drag. Candles bagged with buster pieces, get your hands full of greases. We've got whole crunchy chips, clean and crispy, to your lips. Pringles, pop the Pringles. Go for fresh because Pringles got them. Fresh, pop right to the bottom. Once you pop, you can't stop.
The SEC champion
Tigers battle the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. It's the USF&G Sugar Bowl, tonight on ABC Sports.
Here in Orlando, that's from the airship Shamu. I guess we can call that a whale of a view from up there, can't we? SeaWorld, of course, the nation's premier marine life park. And a lot of folks have had a great time this week, spending some time over there at SeaWorld. 3rd and 16 for Clemson. Cameron straight back, steps away, throws to Smith, who's open, and overthrew him. Smith open in the end zone, and Cameron overthrew him, and Clemson settles for a field goal attempt here by Nelson Welsh.
Boy, he was open. Chris Cannon, the corner, number 18, bit on the post move. Then they turned and went back to the corner. He was alone.
Onatu down on the ground, injured. And while the California medical staff tends to him, we'll take a break.
This is not what you want in a shave. Now you've got the edge. This is the shave with 6 rich lubricants. This is the shave that reduces irritation. This is the shave. For less irritation, you've got the edge. Edge, proud sponsor of the NBA Most Valuable Player Award.
Hey, sports fans, get a ticket to Bud Bowl 4, and you could win $1 million cash.
$1 million bucks?
But you can't get that ticket just anywhere.
Bud Bowl tickets? Huh? Bud Bowl tickets. Sorry. Bud Bowl tickets?
Bud Bowl.
Bud Bowl tickets.
Pick up your ticket where you buy Budweiser, Bud Light, and Bud Dry Draft beer. And you just might be a winner.
Hey, guys, is this the line for... You know, it's not that important. Never mind.
Bud Bowl 4. This time it's for $1 million bucks.
The power of intelligent engineering is routinely put to the test at Oldsmobile. And here's the result. Of all the Cutlass Sierras ever sold in the last 10 years, we can say 96% are still on the road. Safely say. Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering.
Available now for $12,695 with Air and V6 engine.
Back in Orlando, Dick Vermeil with Brent Musburger. And it's a 37-yarder. Nelson Welsh here, Dick. And in the sequencing, they need 3 scores, so they badly need this field goal.
He's 4 for 7 this year from this distance.
On its way. He's got it. Nelson Welsh with a field goal on Clemson's first possession of the second half. It's 27-13. The Tigers still alive.
Freedom. It's the spirit which moves the Cutlass Supreme, a car intelligently engineered to free your eyes, your hands, your senses. Introducing the new Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. The look may change, but the spirit remains the same. Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering.
Here's 20 new reasons to visit Disney World this year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
It's Disney's 20th birthday all year long. For the battery that performs 3 times better than industry standards, you've got to get to Sears.
Out here, if you don't have a diehard, you don't have a prayer.
Sears diehard. More power when you need it most.
Who's going to back it better than Sears?
Drixoral is. Sudafed isn't. Drixoral is. Contac isn't. Drixoral is the only 12-hour cold medicine you can buy that was once a prescription and is still available in its original prescription strength. Drixoral.
We're back in Orlando, 27-13. Clemson kicks a field goal. Suave with the ball on the tee for the Tigers. Chapman at the 20. Down at the 34-yard line. Let's go down to Cheryl Miller. Cheryl?
Once the rain started coming down on the field, it became extremely slippery, and we noticed a couple times that Deshaun Cameron was slipping. In the beginning of the game, he started out with the molded shoe here. The trainers wanted him to switch to the cleats. Normally, Deshaun Cameron says he doesn't like to switch shoes, but because there is absolutely no traction out there, he's going to go to the cleat.
Cheryl, thank you very much. And Mike Pulaski and the Bears with their first possession of the second half. The hand to Russell White. And Russell White taken down by Ed McDaniel on a loss back to the 30-yard line, a 4-yard loss. And Dick, my question to you, do you think Chester McLaughlin's had enough rest? He sent out that last series. All of halftime, he's been down for about an hour. Is the big fella ready to go now?
Well, he'll have trouble getting warmed up, but I tell you, when he has his motor running, you just can't stop him. He just doesn't have the stamina to go 15, 12 play drives and come in the next drive.
Note that Pulaski removed the shield because it was been raining here. He doesn't have a windshield wiper on that baby. Zomalt. It'll be 3rd and about 4. Bodine coming from behind with the stop. So Pulaski was voted the MVP of this Golden Bear team by his teammates. 21 touchdown passes this year, a California record. He finished in the top 5 of both the Johnny Unitas and the Davy O'Brien voting. A firebrand of a leader. He has this team ahead, 27-13. Need to get to the 44 for the first down.
He's audibling now. See, they bluffed the coverage, and now he's changing the play.
Pulaski sends Zomalt out, hits him, and Zomalt reaches for the first down.
He really understands the offense. He saw them up pressing coverage. He thought they might be coming. He saw them back out, then he audibled to a first down type pass. Good quarterbacking, good preparation by the quarterback coach.
He's going to depend on it.
You'll see Pulaski, just a little movement of the head, pulled Bodine. Bodine's pretty excited. He wants to get after that guy.
This one is going to wind up, depending on where they spotted it after he reached for that first down.
Be ready on the sideline. Punt team, be ready.
You could hear that call on the California sideline. They want the punt team. Missed by that much, so things are starting out, and you can see Hatfield attempting to rally the troops, and remember, he's come close to blocking a couple of punts. And Pulaski, has he talked Bruce Snyder into going for it here? I believe he has.
Oh my God.
He's still on the field.
Well, this is a real gamble.
Oh,
maybe you're a hero. If you don't, it's the error of the ball game. So you risk turning the momentum all the way around.
Pulaski himself. The middle meets him.
They have to give him that.
We'll see where they spotted in relation to the markers. The spots have not been favorable so far in this game on either side. It's been consistent.
Bruce Snyder making a guts call.
If he made it only by inches. Here come the chains.
Let's see, the slot breaker lead.
Less than a length.
I tell you, as a coach, after that kind of a decision, it's sure a lot easier to take that next breath.
Back up, everybody!
Coach Snyder will be bungee jumping after this one.
Without the bungee, if he'd have missed that one, baby.
Yeah, without it.
1st and 10. The toss is to White on a cutback against the grain, and a spinner still up down at the 42. 14 more yards for White.
Concentrate here on the fullback to the left center of your screen, the lead blocker, as they toss the ball deep. Fullback to the left side of your screen. He has to make the block. He gets one out there. They get it turned out, stretches the hole, and they turn back up inside for a nice game.
And number 15, O'Neal, coming back on the tackle, injured an ankle and limped off. So Clemson's best defensive back not on the field. Pulaski throws one over to White. No question that California's game plan now is to feature number 4 in the second half.
Well, that's what they said they were going to do. But now Ron Dickerson, the defensive coordinator for Clemson, is changing up his coverages a little more. That time they were in it too deep, and they are up forcing those wide receivers to break their routes early. The other thing they're doing is disguising their coverages.
2-yard gain on that play leaves Cal with a 2nd and 8.
Here's Coach Dickerson right there. He's making the adjustments, trying to give Pulaski a tougher read.
Whistle blew before the snap.
Penalty flags on the field.
Dead ball. Ball start. Offense. Still 2nd down.
Boy, we've had very few penalties. And I don't believe we've had a turnover yet either, have we? 11 rushes, 47 yards.
9 of 11 teams have failed to rush for 100 yards against Clemson. And Snyder trying to get that running game going here in the second half, leading 27-13. With a big hole. White slips to the outside. A beautiful block by Zumwalt. And White is out at the 15-yard line. What a blocking job by Greg Zumwalt in this game as White runs for 31 yards.
The key to this is the block by Eric Malum on the trap. Watch this. He pulls, he gets up, good block turn there. Now watch him pull, watch him kick up in there. There it is, there's the big hole. Good job. Now he gets the block downfield. That was the back that went in motion to the right of your screen. 78 yards rushing on the day.
And an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty falls on this play against California.
Dead ball, non-contact foul, offense, 1st and 25. Whew.
I think he just throws the ball up into the stands here.
Yeah, and you can't do that. Yeah. Cannot do that.
So Russell White tosses some fan a very costly souvenir. 1st and 25, high and incomplete. It's 2nd and 25 from the 30. A big break for Clemson as White went out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Chester McLaughlin takes himself out.
Well, that was an immature play by Russell White. And he has more poise than that and more understanding of the game. He knows he can't do that. White now, Clemson's got to play for the screen. They've really got to be alert for the screen. Or let back check down.
White, nothing going, and this is going to be 3rd and 27. David Davis makes the stop.
You go from 1st and 10 on the 15 to 1st and 10 on the 30 back there. That's a major move.
That was a major signal over there by Coach Snyder. Like they might have something in mind in this situation. See if they can pull a rabbit out of their hat here. There it is, the Fumblerooski. They've got it. There was the signal short of the 1st down. Eric Malum, we picked it up on the sideline when he went over and pointed to one of the student managers. They put the Fumblerooski down.
You know, they also have to tell the official they're going to run that play, Brent. They can't fool the official. Take a look. You don't see this very often, fans. Watch it being executed. The ball right underneath the center's hand. Now watch. Snaps it up, puts it on the ground. Mullum, number 53, picks it up. There he goes around. Now he's picking up a block by Troy Ozine. Does a nice job blocking downfield. And there's Eric Mullum carrying the ball for the first time in his career.
34-yard field goal attempt by Doug Bryan as the result of that fumble-rooski. Big moment in this game. He's curling it in and good. Doug Bryan kicks a field goal and extends California's lead. It's 30-13. They're still 3 scores ahead. Well, a reminder that coming up on Sunday, January 12th here on ABC, from the La Costa Country Club, the world's top will tee it off in the final round of the Infinity Tournament of Champions. Coverage begins at 3 Eastern Time, right here on ABC. Those will be the winners of the regular PGA Tour, as well as the seniors, the only time this year that they come together. So, in effect, we will have 2 championships decided for you on Sunday, January 12th.
You know, that was really a big, big, big call to come up with that. See, and he's not thinking of scoring a touchdown. He's just thinking of creating a situation for the field goal kicker to kick the shorter field goal, the higher, looking for that 3-point to get it so the opponent, Clemson, needs the 3 plays to score, 3 scores to win it.
Excellent coaching job here today by Bruce Snyder and the entire California staff. You can't say enough about what they have come up with here today. And we should hand out some kudos to our camera crew. That's a very difficult play to come back with. Frequently, you're just following the quarterback every which way and not sure. We had it for you. So let's take one more look at it as Clemson, trying to mount a rally, yields a field goal as the result of this fumble-rooski. As the quarterback pulls away, the ball put on the ground, picked up by an offensive lineman who then swings to the outside. That was Ozine blocking O'Neal, and Mullum gets it close enough for the field goal.
I think the last time we saw that play was the University of Arizona running that play a year ago early in the season against Illinois, and they ran it in for a touchdown. Don't see it very often.
1st and 10 for Clemson. Harris battles for 3 yards. Ryan Perry has been very active defensively for the Bears.
He really has. He's their most improved defensive lineman over the last couple of years, and he's made a big stride this late part of the season, and they really need him to make those kind of plays against a big offensive line like this. He's on Stacy Sigers, who's 6'4", 320 pounds, Brent.
5.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Cameron, with plenty of time, fires one long. Miss at the 30-yard line.
Chris Cannon was there to help Ryan, who is almost able to get into that. Pretty nicely thrown ball. The ball was thrown like it ought to be out in front of him, so he has to stretch to make the catch. There it is. He's inside the corner. He's inside the safety. Wilson is inside there. Look at that. Good defense by Chris Cannon. Give him credit for making a nice play. This is the reason Chris Cannon's leaping ability becomes important there. See him leap like that, 6'8" high jumper in high school.
California led this one 24-3. Clemson since then has outscored them 10-6, but it doesn't matter. Almost intercepted by Artis Houston.
Really smartly played. Artis Houston is the fastest defensive back on the team. Also an outstanding student in high school, and coming to California, makes a very smart play there. They tried to use a hook inside and slide to the outside. They couldn't make the play.
And Clemson forced the punt. The 7th punt of the game by Chuck Lynch. Brian Triggs with 1 touchdown run in the first half. At the 36. Out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Ty Gibson defending that punt. A 6-yard return off a 40-yard punt.
legs driven out by Tyrone Gibson.
Well, with that ceiling closing in, we may lose our airship Shamu here for the rest of the game. We certainly want to thank those folks for those wonderful pictures we had. That blimp floats so gracefully up there. I guess we're about 1,000 feet above the stadium. I wouldn't want to do a bungee jump off of that baby.
No, but your sidekick probably do it.
So thanks to Shamu.
You know, there's a lot left in Cal's offense that we've seen him run in other games, and on the practice field, they haven't even used yet.
The toss to Chapman. The hole. Good 9 yards on that first down run.
Brent Woodhall, the tight end, didn't get the defensive lineman or linebacker hooked, but he kept him engaged, and that allowed Chapman to get around to the outside. Good job by Brent Woodhall. No substitute for speed, and Lindsey Chapman has it.
Second and short, and you can look for Pulaski to take a free shot on a pass. He decides not to. Puts it in Chapman's hands, and Chapman runs for the first down inside the 45-yard line. Moves on tackling him, and California working a little bit on the clock.
You know what's amazing is we sat for an hour and talked to Coach Snyder from Cal about his game plan and what he was going to do, and he's doing it. What's really amazing is how efficiently the game plan is working, in that he said we'd come out in the second half. We didn't think we could run very much in the first half, but we'd make them chase, we'd wear them down, and then we're going to control the clock in the second half and run the ball well. Gosh, what a great script he has written.
Al Richards shaking up
on the play.
Al Richard was at our table at the Citrus Bowl luncheon the other day. What a nice young man. He's graduated from school already, going to graduate school. He started the first 3 games of the season, then they moved Chester McLaughlin into the starting lineup, so he's been an alternate. Of course, with the Brenson Buckner not playing here, having been ejected early, he's been playing a lot in this football game. Very articulate, bright young man.
California's record this year, 9-2, their best mark in 41 years. And there was some question about how many fans California would travel when they came to a bowl game. Well, some 7,000 Golden Bear loyalists purchased tickets and traveled on down here to Orlando, many of them from Northern California, but a lot from the East Coast, as California and Penn State are in a bit of an argument, and that argument is which one has the most living alums. Both schools have now claimed that with me this year. So I'll let the two, Penn State and California, argue that one. Here's the toss to Chapman, looking for a cutback alley, spins to the 37. An entirely different game plan here in the second half as a penalty flag comes down on the play. And when we finish here, you folks out in the Pac-10, I want to see how Washington does in its quest for a national championship against Michigan. The Rose Bowl is coming up next here on ABC. In the first quarter, Cal was able to rush.
Dead ball, personal foul, defense, first down.
So the ball is marched off inside the 25-yard line. First and 10. The Bears, you know, in that first quarter, Dick, California was held to minus 19 yards rushing. Since then, they have rushed for 120 yards.
And I'll tell you this, when they've been able to rush for 150 yards in the last 2 years, they have won 13, lost 1, and tied 1. Important to keep running.
This baby is 30-13. It's been Cal since the opening drive. Pulaski slips, throws, Dawkins dives, he's got it in the end zone. Touchdown, Cal. Wonderful catch.
A 6'4" wide receiver being covered by a 5'11" defensive back, plus an athlete that can jump. He was a very fine track athlete. He gets it up high, makes him keep going. So he gives the receiver the opportunity to go out in front and make the catch. The receiver did a good job of keeping the ball inside him as well.
extra point added by Bryant. Well, California came in here with several big play performers, and all of them have scored touchdowns. Here is Dawkins with this touchdown catch, making like he is next year's Desmond Howard. Already Russell White has run in for a touchdown, and Brian Triggs has returned a punt. The difference in the game is what we said back on top. California had the big play performers.
You know, and we said too, Brent, that for Cal to be the winner today, their three superstars had to play like superstars. Pulaski, all right, and he's done it. Russell White, and now Sean Dawkins. And they are the three true All-American caliber offensive players, and they're all doing better what they do best.
Well, with this performance, you have really got to like Washington now. Wow, the Pac-10 coming up big again at bowl time.
You know, and I think this football team, the California team, has grown up from that losing experience at Stanford. We have not seen one flare of the negative things we saw in that ball game. Coach Snyder and the staff put that in proper perspective. He said he didn't want those kids to come in here today and play like Boy Scouts, but he said he wanted them to play tough and everything else, but none of the stuff that they did wrong in the Stanford game. And boy, have they done a good job.
I think Clemson has to be shocked by what they've seen here today.
Clemson's looked like they took a sleeping pill last night, and they haven't woke up yet.
Ryan. Alley. Penalty flag.
I think the other thing that's been really obvious here, that Kent Bear and the defensive coaches, Rod Marinelli and Don Henderson and Phil Snow, have done a great job of preparing that defense. I was concerned that the defense could hold up with against that big front, because the University of Washington moved the ball pretty well against them, getting up over 400 yards, and I figured this team might be able to do the same. That's Kent Bear right there, the fine defensive coordinator. Really an intense guy, and he generates that within his defensive squad as well.
He speaks Japanese.
Yes, he
worked
does.
as a coach over in Tokyo. He's probably got some good friends in Tokyo. He probably called them up and asked them to scout Clemson for him when they were over there playing Duke. He's probably the only coach in America who could get an excellent scouting report on a team playing in the Orient. The chancellor of the university, who has meant so much to this football program. Oriental dropped by before the game. He's so excited. That is Cal Cap, blue blazer. Let the good times roll for the Golden Bears. Cameron going long.
That's interference.
And it'll be first down for Clemson. That was Smith, and he was interfered with by Houston.
It was obvious. Artis Houston did that. You'll see right at the end, he pushes him. Here he is moving inside out. See him reach there and put his hand in there like that. No, he can't do that. They're going to call it. Be a 10-yard penalty.
Dick, what's our friend, the chancellor's name?
I wrote it down. Chang Lin Tien. And was he fired up? Huh? He was pumped. I asked him if he was nervous, and he said no. Real quick, no. He can really be proud of what his university is doing here today. I'll tell you this, you know, Bruce Snyder is operating on an extended contract, has a new contract that isn't signed. I think if I were the chancellor, I'd be at his house tomorrow morning, make sure he gets it signed.
Forget the house. I'd never let him off the sideline today, because the phone is going to be ringing.
Of course, I would insist they double the amount they're offering, too.
This is... I can't begin to tell you, when you look at the two programs, the facilities difference that you have in Clemson versus California. It's stunning. Cameron down at the 15-yard line.
They are pumped. That's Big Monahan. Monahan's from Cardinal Newman High School in Santa Rosa, California. the other thing, Clemson hasn't looked like the real tough, hard-nosed team that the image that they always bring to a ball game. Anyway, they haven't shown that today.
Blunt out of bounds at the 21-yard line. And actually, he didn't go out of bounds. Clock still moving. He didn't make it. That's Ray Sanders, who's held up well in that secondary.
Yes, he has. He was an excellent baseball player in high school, actually drafted by the Kansas City Royals in the 18th round as a baseball player, elected to stay with football. See, this is just not Clemson's style of football. And when they're put in this situation, it's tough.
Smith turns to the 45 and a first down. Barsala defended him after a 24-yard gain.
Barsala's been all over the field. He didn't get to start the game, made a mistake, missed a practice, didn't start, but he's been all over the field since he's there. But that Terry Smith is, you know, he's just a redshirt sophomore, got a couple of years to go. He's going to be an outstanding receiver. He already is. He was first string all ACC for Clemson this year.
First down handoff to Blunt.
Blunt, the ball carrier.
To the 49-yard line.
Boy, I tell you, the big fullback, Rudy Harris, that time went through, and did he get a good block.
Penalty flag thrown back in the secondary. Something happened downfield on that play.
I got on the elevator the other day in the hotel with three of these big linemen from Clemson. I didn't think it was going to go up. They were all 300 pounds. There's over 900 pounds of guys.
Why don't you run around him to the other elevator?
Look at the chest on him. You can inhale for a month. Look at that. That's John Harris.
Dead ball. Personal foul. Defense. Dead ball. Personal foul. Offense. Both players ejected. Penalties offset.
Hatfield's upset. Wilson, I guess, is the one.
That's David Wilson of Cal and Dwayne Bryant.
Boy, that's a major loss.
That's a major loss for Cal.
You bet. I mean, he is their outstanding secondary player. Los Angeles City Defensive Player of the Year in high school. And number one, Dwayne Bryant is out, Fred.
Ball at the 50.
That's Don Pellin, the recruiting coordinator, talking to him. Boy, they'll miss him in there.
Blunt battles his way for a tough first down. Good running. Ray Sanders trying to pick up some of that slack back there in the secondary. And it is a 1st and 10 for Clemson here in the final 2 minutes of the third quarter.
8 of 7 on the play. 1st and 10.
Blunt leaves after that tough run, and Derek Witherspoon into the game for Hatfield. Fumble, Cameron on it. Loss of a couple of yards.
Cameron recovering the fumble.
Just what the coaches said, if he gets off to a bad start, sometimes he doesn't recover, although he did have that one sparkling 62-yard run for a touchdown in this game.
You know, I'm not so sure it's that they got off to a bad start, that Cal got off to a great start.
Yeah,
the offense wasn't even on the field that first series.
I agree.
You know,
but he did go 0 for his first 5.
That's right, no question.
How about this, huh? Go Bears.
13.
Catch incomplete. Ryan is the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down.
Cal secondary people are covering and crowding the wide receivers, not too concerned with them about going deep. Now, they've tried to go deep with a post pattern. They tried to go deep with a deep down the sideline pattern, but they're still crowding them.
running for the first down marker. Out of bounds, just short of it.
You can see that he does have that 4.5 speed. He turned that corner, and it was speed alone because Pursuit had good angles on him, but Wilburn, Jason Wilburn, number 39, just couldn't get to him.
Stand here and get hit and get on TV.
You see what I'm talking about here? He gets back now. He's going to sprint out here. Now, here's Jason Wilburn, number 39. He's a fine athlete. He can really run. He couldn't get to him.
Ball just inside the 35-yard line.
4th and inches.
4th and inches.
Clemson trailing by 24 points. Will go for it here. Slanting behind the right side of the offensive line for a Tiger first down. To have any chance at all, the defense would have to shut down a California offense that has been sparkling all day. And Clemson, you would think, would have to hit 3 two-point conversions. Folks, you talk about it being uphill right now.
Yeah, you bet. The other thing, Brent, see, Cal would have to help him by turning the ball over.
Cal has 330 total yards of offense in the first 3 quarters. That Clemson defense hasn't been hit like this year. We'll return after this message and a word from our ABC station.
Tim, are you standing there with the refrigerator door open?
I'm looking for the orange juice, Ma.
It's on the top shelf. And Tim, don't drink out of the container.
Orange juice. It's got the vitamins, minerals, and taste that make you feel so good.
Tim, are you still drinking from the container?
100% pure Florida quality orange juice. It makes you feel so good.
And Tim, you're not putting the container back empty, are you?
Oldsmobile knows that all your roads won't be sunny roads. That's why the all-new Oldsmobile 88 Royale LS offers you advanced traction engineering. The combination of anti-lock brakes, traction control, and road-holding front-wheel drive. The 3 elements to beat the elements. Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering.
Now, get 2.9% APR financing for up to 48 months.
Coming this February to ABC.
This is the future home of New Life Community. Through your generosity, this building will house the homeless and save them from the streets in weather like this. New Life Community already gives people more than shelter. It gives them education, gets them job training, helps them put their lives back together. Through the past 2 years, your donations to Home for the Holidays have helped serve hundreds of families. This wonderful work can continue with your support. Won't you send a donation to this address and help someone find a home for the holidays?
Now, get a Ford Tempo for just $199 a month and no down payment. Tempted? There's more. Loads more. A loaded Ford Tempo for just $199 a month for up to 36 months. That's right, just $199 a month for up to 36 months and no down payment. If you thought Tempo was a great value before, get a load of it now. Hurry, see your Northeast Ohio Ford dealer today. We're winning Ohio over.
Citrus Bowl, Orlando, Florida. We start the 4th quarter, and so far it has been an explosion by the Golden Bears of California. They lead at 37-13 with 15 minutes left to play. Dick Vermeil, a splendid coaching job. Cameron rolling out here for Clemson. Gets one-on-one, an open man in the end zone. Incomplete. That was Smith, defended by you-know-who, Chris Cannon.
Gotten it out of there just another step further down there. He might have been able to make this play. Cannon was there, but he didn't get in behind him, as you can see here, and it's underthrown and allowed Cannon to go ahead and help and get involved in that play. Keep him running as you can. Keep him running if you can. See, he had at least 2 steps on him.
2nd and 10. Over the middle to Gibson. Gibson to the 17-yard line, and a first down for the Tigers.
Very good call by the offensive coordinator, Larry Vanderhayden. He doesn't tight end. Ty Gibson doesn't get the ball many times, only 12 times this year, 13 times last year. So there's a real surprise element when the tight end catches the football.
To have any chance at all, Clemson must strike quickly and then get a turnover, you would think. Cameron rolling. He's got one-on-one again, and he overthrows Smith.
Did you see the hit that Jarrett Willard put on him? Number 45.
Dick, the question I would have about the Clemson passing attack, they take one man out there, and they don't give him much of an alternative in that end zone. He's got to get it to Smith, or it's not going to happen.
It's a one-man pattern situation there, but take a look at that. That's a rip shot right there. Jarrett Willard, the first-string freshman All-American, making that play. He, too, played for the South team in the Shrine game. They have some good football players on this team, obviously.
Well, California showing everyone that it wasn't the real team they saw in that loss to Stanford. Stanford blitz. Ball is intercepted by California. Mac Travis. Oh, did they come off the corner that time? It was Ray Sanders.
That was an attempted shuffle pass, which is a forward pass if it's incomplete. But he caught it in the air. It is a interception, as you called.
The first turnover of this Citrus Bowl.
It's not Waterford Crystal or a Hasselblad lens. It's a headlamp. And if you think that's impressive, wait till you see what's attached. Introducing the new Lexus ES 300 Sports Sedan.
They're not doing anything. Where's the surprise? What? Do they whistle or turn purple or something? These are just flakes. Now that's a surprise. They don't have to do anything. They just taste good. Simplicity. It's very tricky. I like that. What are you going to call them?
Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes? Isn't that name taken?
Taste them again for the first time.
Undefeated Washington goes after the national crown when they meet Heisman winner Desmond Howard and Big Ten champ Michigan. It's the Rose Bowl, next on ABC Sports.
The Huskies and the Wolverines probably out there with their pregame warm-ups along about now, getting ready for that Rose Bowl game that's about to unfold in Pasadena. We'll be sending you along to Keith and Bob as soon as this one's over. Here it's California on the toss to White. He has now gained better than 80 yards against this defense. And remember, we go back to the top of the broadcast. It has been 38 games since a running back rushed for better than 100 yards. And in the last 72 games, only 2 players have done it. The last one I referred to is Martin of the Tar Heels back in 1988. But Russell White with a chance, and there's an injured Clemson player down on the field. I can't remember being around a coach who gave us a plan in which he said, what we're going to do is we're going to throw, because I don't want them to see my running attack until the second half when they're a little tired. I think I can get some business early. I got some big play guys. I'm outmatched physically. And then in a second, I'm going to come back. I'm going to run hard. And I think then they'll be looking for something. I can't remember a coach having a game plan unfold as he told me like this.
Remember what he said? He said, remember he said he talked to Bill Walsh. And Bill Walsh said, hey, don't be stubborn. Don't try to beat him physically first. Keep that ball moving around and make your chase.
Speaking of stubborn, now that is stubborn, folks, right there.
Tubsy. No, that's not. Look at that guy. You know, the thing I think the offensive coaches from Cal have also reminded their players, keep the ball in bounds. Keep the clock running. Let's get out of here.
Well, I'll tell you, is he going to be a popular figure right now as far as some job opportunities are concerned? Russell White, again, I want to mention that there was a hint of a rumor regarding Arizona State and Bruce Snyder. Prior to the start of this game, Snyder would have none of that rumor business. He was concentrating on getting Cal ready. But if you go back and look at his record, he was very successful up at Utah State and now at California, two schools where it's difficult to put together winning programs. And when you find coaches who are successful in those environments, you know you've got someone who can get the job done for you.
Plus, you add that pro experience to it, and you really go, go another level. You know, nobody's done the job he's done at Cal except Mike White years ago.
Pawlowski fires short and defended. It'll be 4th down at the 12:47 mark. Ashley Shepard.
Intended for Woodall. Ashley Shepard.
But this offense came into the ball game averaging 446 yards a game, averaging 36.9 points. It was 1975. You have to go that far back. You find an offense that compared, and that was Mike White's offense at 458 yards a ball game. That's a long span. Today they're at 339.
Noonan's first punt of the second half. Clemson will come after it. They've been close a couple of times with Easton. Stevens
taking the punt.
To the 31-yard line.
It's to the 31-yard line.
The final 12:36 to unwind here in the Citrus Bowl.
Defense led by number 30, Brian Watkins.
To me, there's nothing better than winning a Super Bowl or a NASCAR race. That's why when my race team hits the circuit, there'll be an interstate battery cranking it up. Interstate's my kind of battery because it's got the power and stamina it takes to be a winner. So insist on an Interstate battery from over 200,000 automotive service, repair, and parts centers everywhere. Call 1-800-CRANK-IT for the one nearest you. You win every time with Interstate.
Ever wonder why your face hurts after you shave? It's simple. When you shave, you lose face because you strip away the moisture that's there to protect it, and that hurts. But now you can start saving face with new conditioning hydrogel from Allspice. Used every day, it adds moisture and keeps it there to help defend against the assault of shaving, so your face feels and stays that way. So why lose face? Use new conditioning hydrogel and start saving face.
Of the Lexus coupe was designed to exhilarate you, even when you're not moving.
9 out of every 10 oranges grown in Florida are processed for orange juice. Over 850 million gallons of orange juice were produced with Florida-grown oranges last year.
With Dick Vermeil, I'm Brent Musburger, and I put the burden on Dick when I said he told me that he thought Clemson was going to win. Actually, we are both shocked. We thought that the Tigers would dominate this game, both sides of the line of scrimmage, and that would be the difference. But it has been the big play, folks, of California, and a superb coaching job that has been the difference in here today. As Cameron drills Smith for a first down.
Brent, it wasn't so much that I didn't think Cal could win. I just was around that Clemson hotel for the last 3 days, and I looked at all these big, strong guys, and they had more of them than Cal did by far, plus the second unit that rotates in there and plays a lot. So I felt that might wear down the Bears. The opposite has happened.
The Bears having a wonderful season this year. This would move their record to 10-2. Derek Witherspoon, blunt out right now with a hip pointer. California's first New Year's Day Bowl since the '59 Rose Bowl.
Stanford was in a bowl game. UCLA was in a bowl game. California is the only one playing on January 1st.
except for Washington.
Whoa, that's right. Excuse
I
me.
recall they're in the same conference.
Yeah, excuse me.
I mean, don't you guys from California count those folks up in the Northwest?
Oh.
I mean, come on, they're my friends up there.
Yeah, you bet we count them. We've had a few of their games over the last 2 years. They've been a great team for 2 years, and will be very good next year.
I can remember a year ago we were saying that they were the best team then.
Yeah.
And then UCLA showed up. Games happen in college football that I still never understand.
You know another team that's capable of surprising today is Nebraska.
Oh, really?
Yes, they are. They're capable.
Should I listen to you again?
No, you don't have to listen to me, but they are capable of...
There's Cameron firing, incomplete.
Pass intended for Tyrone Gibson, incomplete.
37-13, Dick, and you know, this Cal team, I do want to go back on another point. I remember when you and I left after that wonderful Washington, California game that was played in Berkeley. They had those terrible, devastating fires up there just outside of Berkeley and Oakland. Well, the athletic department, incomplete, out of bounds. The athletic department at the University of California donated $100,000 to that Oakland Fire Relief Fund, and I just thought that was a very nice gesture. I remember reading about it. I think it was the San Francisco Chronicle the week after that horrible fire out there. Some of the players lost their apartments and their cars and that. One thing I want to say about the California program, I mean, here's one that folks didn't think would ever get turned around. Thought it was an academic institution. Maybe Northwestern could study what happened there, huh? Here's Cameron firing complete for the first down. Finally got it to Smith. That one-on-one coverage against Chris Cannon on the outside. I think they're giving him a bad spot there. I think he caught the ball beyond that point that they're marking it. He did. Going no huddle. Oh, now they call a timeout. 4th and short.
Timeout, Clemson.
Cameron coming over to the sideline to talk to Coach Hatfield.
The Lexus LS400 has an extremely effective electronic security system. While it may look rather simple to you, to a car thief, it looks something like this.
These two leading effervescent cold remedies may look the same, but Tylenol Cold isn't the same old fizz. It's where the orange is. Orange flavor's so great tasting, people prefer the taste of Tylenol Cold 2-to-1 over the leading brand. So what's it gonna be? The same old fizz? Or the great flavor of Tylenol Cold, where the orange is?
Why fight the weather? Get to Sears and get a Craftsman half-horsepower garage door opener for only $139.99. But quantities are limited. So hurry to Sears today before you're left out in the cold.
The energy to go further. We share that energy at Texaco, creating products like System 3 gasoline and Haviland Formula 3 motor oil. Performance that goes as far as it can and then goes even further.
Well, as we wind down the final minutes of this Citrus Bowl, thanks to Chuck Rowe, he's the executive director, and Carol Monroe, she really runs the show down here for all the hospitality extended to the ABC crew. We've still got 11 minutes, but for all intents and purposes, this baby is over. I think one of the unsung heroes is, you see Zomalt there in your picture, number 23? His brother right there, number 28, Greg Zomalt. Not only did he score the first touchdown, but folks, I want to tell you, he blocked as well as any fullback as I've seen this year in college football. Time after time, he came back against these tough Clemson defenders and got the job done. And all too often, we don't give the blockers their due. And for McLaughlin, there's the big fellow right there. He's bigger than the last time we saw him. Cameron firing firing complete on first down, and that's Witherspoon, the running back. And again, it's Ray Sanders, number 8, and he's played a fine game, and that's secondary for Cal. So many of these Cal Bears have stood up today. Wow, what a performance.
You know, Snyder's done a good job of coaching, but he's done even a better job of evaluating which kids to recruit. Some of these kids were not highly recruited. Yes, they had the Shrine kids, but he's evaluated some kids that were rated marginal, and they weren't the All-Americans and all that stuff, Brent, but they've come and they performed very well.
Now, everybody knows how fun, Dick, I have been through the years of the Clemson athletic program. I've made a lot of trips down there to Clemson, and I just think they've got some of the most wonderful facilities in the country. It gets tougher in the ACC next year. Perry comes blasting across. Perhaps he was thrown off. It gets tougher in the ACC because Florida State will play a full schedule in the conference, and there's an early meeting between Clemson and Florida State in Tallahassee next fall. That'll be a dandy.
Well, it'll take them a while to get used to defensing these kind of, you know, wide open attacks. Not that Pate Duke throws the ball real well, and other people too, but the whole total package.
Third down.
And it may not only be that. It's just, you know, they came down here a week, spent a week. Maybe it's a week too long. You know, maybe they should evaluate that. They came down to stayed a week in Clearwater and then came here and worked. Maybe they're better off staying at home for that week.
Short on third down. Well, this is the day that they talk about the national championship, the AP rankings. Miami #1, then Washington, Florida, and Michigan still in the hunt. It will not leave those 4, you wouldn't think. Now, as far as the coaches are concerned, Miami and Washington are tied, although the Hurricanes received 3 more first-place votes. A year ago, Georgia Tech won the coaches ranking, and Colorado won the other one. Onatu comes blasting through with the sack of Cameron on 4th down back at the 40-yard line. It's Cal's ball. 9.5 minutes to go.
Happy New Year, everybody, from Tommy Lasorda. This is how I looked before I lost 30 pounds in 3 months with the Ultra Slim Fast plan. But look at me now. The best part isn't how good I look, but how great I feel. And you know, Ultra Slim Fast is such a healthy diet. The best resolution you can make is to lose weight with Ultra Slim Fast. If you do, I know it will be a great year for you too.
Ultra Slim Fast. Give us a week. We'll take off the weight.
And while we were outside, Brian Kelly said Hillary Olsen wasn't any fun and I shouldn't play with her. But I played with Hillary Olsen. Mommy, when Grandma's 100 years old, how old will I be? Look, the moon! Daddy, drive faster, the moon's following us. Anybody want to hear me count to 500? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, look, McDonald's, McDonald's, McDonald's. I love
chocolate shake, please.
Chocolate shake. I love him. He's my favorite thing. And my.
3 years ago, we set out to create a sports sedan. But first and foremost, we set out to create a Lexus. Introducing the new Lexus ES 300 Sports Sedan.
They came 7,000 strong, the Cal Bear fans, and some of them are hanging in there right till the end. As for the Clemson fans, they get the front row down there. Russell White, and he's closing in on 100. He's over 85 yards. That gives him 16 carries for 88. 9.5 minutes to go. This is the most points allowed by Clemson since 1984, when they were beaten 41-23 by Maryland. That was back in November. The toss, they're going to try to get White 100 yards. And Clemson's going to try to hold him off. Rob Bodine. Things are definitely going backwards for this team. Mom, this wasn't supposed to happen this way. Meanwhile, California State claim to an early recruit over there on the sideline.
Right now the score is 37-13.
Get up here and take my job. Way to go, young man.
First, huh?
Third down. The fire on that little slant, running that screen back to the middle. Rob Bodine chasing down Jeff Jones, and a first down for California at the 8-minute mark. And all you Washington, Michigan fans, that one's coming up here soon. The Rose Bowl is next. And already the Pac-10 with another big win on this bowl day.
You know, a lot of people said that Pac-10 had a weak conference, or Washington didn't have to play anybody and all that kind of stuff. But the Pac-10's holding up pretty good today.
I'd say so.
And yesterday.
I'd say. Their only loss was in the closing seconds when Clay broke that brilliant punt return for Georgia Tech. And then Tech pulled it out with a 2-point conversion. Penalty flag on this one. This one will come back. We talked about the coaches' rankings and the writers with the Associated Press. Always a third ranking that I enjoy looking at because it frequently is really different. And this is a computer ranking that the New York Times brings out every week. And the one school that may have been undervalued by the writers and the coaches is Nebraska. The computer, which rates strengths of schedule, and I would point out that Oklahoma played brilliantly in that win over Virginia, certainly upgrades the Nebraska record, although they have lost that fullback for that game tonight against Miami. But they are ranked 5th by the computer, although I should note they did have Virginia number 10, so maybe the computer doesn't know everything. So I'll tell you what, I give up. All right, I surrender.
You still have to line up and play. Statistics to only give you an indication of what's been going on. It doesn't tell you what's going to happen that given day.
Hey, how about this, huh?
What up,
Yeah, let the good times roll for this team. Clemson battling away against White.
White, the ball carrier.
There's a number we haven't called much today. Levon Kirkland, number 44.
I was with him yesterday. I was walking through the lobby late evening. He was eating a banana for some, I guess, quick energy and broccoli, raw broccoli.
Did you say yesterday?
Yeah.
They know the game was today? Maybe that's the deal here, you know? Maybe they forgot.
He's going to be a very high draft choice in the National Football League.
He's
draft.
a nice young man.
Yeah, he can play. See, Cal did some things to help protect against those kind of rushers, too. They turned the tackles out on him a lot.
He brought one to the game today.
Yeah.
He had his energy and his calcium. Second down. Now here's White.
And off to White.
I'll ask Roger Riley, our stats guy, just how close he is. He's 4 yards away from getting 100. Syracuse beating Ohio State, and the baseball score from Dallas is now 7-2 still. Penn State scoring first on Tennessee.
You know, Penn State's another team, Brent, that we saw late in the year and then early in the year, and they were really a much better team late in the season. Very fine team.
So White off on that side, not in for this third down.
Take off that orange. Take off the orange.
5:53.
Good defense. Really a good job of defense by Clemson. That time they read the screen. Arthur Bussey, number 86, came out there, Brett. He had no one to throw the screen to, so he just grounded the ball. But Arthur played that awfully well.
Go get him again. Go let up on that.
You know what was a big play in the second half? I'm not sure they could have come back all the way. But that fumble Ruski that set up that field goal that matched Clemson's early field goal was a big play when you look back on the game.
You know, and so many times we've gone to do ball games. We've done enough of them this year, and people give us their game plans and all these great plays, but they don't use them in the game because they get afraid to call them. Today they called them.
Yeah, I always figured that, okay, I'll listen to the game plan, and then the game will start. There's a punt inside the 5. Down, I believe it was in the end zone. So it'll come out on the 20-yard line. 5.5 minutes to go, and then we'll switch out to Pasadena for the war between Washington and Michigan.
That's Todd Stussy, number 75 there. Curtis Whitley there, number 64.
I know that...
That's Terry Donahue, the fine football coach at UCLA's neighbor. Here he is playing right tackle for Cal. That would grab you a little bit, wouldn't it?
Fullback for Clemson. Rushes on the field a little bit late, Rudy Harris, and a penalty flag comes flying here.
Penalty flag.
We go down there and tell the officials to keep this one moving, that our audience wants to see Washington, Michigan coming up. You know, Dick, I must tell you that I really couldn't decide one way or the other on the Rose Bowl, but having watched California, I really like
There's
Washington.
no flag. No flag.
Good. Let's go. Let's play. Come on. Good. Let's go. Let's shove this one along, lads, and let's get out to Desmond Howard and that bunch out there. Let's watch Impman and Skrepanek, and what a war that's going to be. Cameron slips down. Donatu was there. Good. Speaking of the Big Ten, though, Indiana turned in a nice win last night over Baylor.
The Dunbar is as good a running back as I've seen all year. Maybe the best we've seen all year. He makes things happen, and he can dominate when there aren't many blocks. He can still advance the football.
And by the way, what happened to another team that you and I thought was a lock in bowl time, Iowa?
You have to give Ty Detmer and the crew, you give them credit.
Cameron, high and incomplete. Well, I think that was another excellent coaching job, because Brigham Young was young and inexperienced when the season began, and they obviously got better as time wore on.
And they got out of the tough schedule, the Florida State, Penn State type teams, and got into their regular conference, and they grew and they got better, and by the end of the year they could go back and play the big guys.
Next year, the Big Ten runner-up comes right here to the Citrus Bowl in Orlando.
Good call. Could well be here.
The folks are going to love it. The third-place team goes to the Holiday Bowl in San Diego. Jim Delaney has lined up two excellent cities, Orlando and San Diego. If you can't go to the Granddaddy, folks, you might as well come to one of these two. You can't get any better sight than Orlando, as Cameron stays in bounds, and that clock continues to run away now.
Cameron has battled. The best thing he's done today is run the football.
You know who's going to have a big Rose Bowl? A young wide receiver by the name of Mario Bailey.
Well, he's got a point to, you know, he said he's as good as the other guy. You know, he's made that point, and he is outstanding. He's an outstanding player.
Wolf Barber back deep to receive, 4th down.
420. And here's the punt. We'll take a break right now, and we'll come back. We'll keep this baby running while you're away for a short time.
Sports and Science Converge, brought to you by AT&T, sponsored the '92 U.S. Olympic team. The football is one piece of equipment which hasn't changed significantly since the dawn of the game, but its texture has often proven slippery during adverse weather conditions or under intense pressure. Charles O'Fenley, the former Oakland A's owner who tried to introduce the orange baseball to the major leagues, has an innovation, the double grip football.
Here just a couple of years ago, I was throwing a conventional football around with the pebbles raised like they've been raised from day one. And the thought just occurred to me, my gosh, who wrote the book that said that the pebbles had to be standing out? Why can't these be inverted?
Inverting the pebbles tightens the grip and improves handling so much that the University of Michigan switched to the new ball midway through last season, giving Heisman Trophy winner Desmond Howard even more opportunities to make acrobatic game-winning catches.
Long before Scottie Pippen was chosen for the USA basketball team,
Hey, Pippen, Mark. Look, that's Big Harold. Want to play? Yeah.
he had to prove himself here. He knew he could count on his friend, Ronnie Martin.
Now, Scotty.
AT&T salutes all of our Olympic hopefuls and everyone who helped them get this far.
Hey, Scotty, those guys at the Olympics going to be tough.
Why? Did they sign Big Harold?
It is a dry day in Southern California, and we're standing by for the 78th playing of the Rose Bowl game. Matching the Washington Huskies, champions of the Pac-10. You'll see them today as the visiting team, even though they live out here in the West, against the champions of the Big Ten, Michigan. It is a game that'll have bearing on what happens when the pollsters go to the ballot for the final time, because the Huskies are undefeated and the Wolverines have lost just one. So as soon as the issue is settled in Orlando, we'll be here in Pasadena, ready to go to work. Again, Brett.
Keith, thank you very much. We look forward to joining that one. And here, Russell White has done it. He has broken 100 yards, and the first time a runner has done that against this Clemson defense since 1988, a string that lasted for 38 games. So 2:20 to go, 37-13. The issue long ago settled in this one, and just as soon as they get going out there in Pasadena, we'll send you along out there. Even though we might miss a couple of plays down here in Orlando, we'll still come back and give you all the final stats and everything. But right now, Russell White has broken 100 yards. Cal leads 37-13. Clemson's string of 5 straight bowl victories is over. Beaten for the first time in 6 years, and beaten soundly by the California Bears. They did it with their big play performers at their best. And they're going to punt it back now to Clemson here at the 2:14 mark. High, beautiful punt. Stevens lets it go, and it'll be down inside the 5-yard line. When it's going well, it goes well for everybody, doesn't it? Huh?
Noonan, excellent punt by Chris Noonan.
The first touchdown in this game for Cal was scored by Greg Zomal on the opening drive of the game. The Golden Bears went 76 yards in 10 plays. It was 7-0, and it was 10-0 on Brian's first of 3 field goals. Brian Triggs upped it to 17-0 on a 72-yard punt return, and for all intents and purposes, this baby was history.
Number 5, Jimmy McLeese.
Then in the second half, Coach Bruce Snyder turned loose his runners, and they have done the rest. Avoiding the safety is Jimmy McLeese, one of the backup quarterbacks for Clemson, who has come on now to finish this game up. So there's the coach who attended Oregon, and before that, he played at Citrus Junior College. So how about that? He comes down here to the Citrus Bowl and turns in a big win with the California Golden Bears. He was a fullback at Oregon. One of his assistant coaches, he handled the defense today.
Kent Bear. You know, when a head coach does a good job and the team reflects it game day, the entire staff did a good job. His entire coaching staff, not only today, the entire year.
I think I see the Chancellor down there with a new contract right behind him. They get him locked up. Pass is picked off at the 29-yard line. Intercepted by California. Watch Darrell Brown snap this one up.
Trying to hit the seam pattern down there in the zone, and here comes Darrell right up over the top. Take it away from him right there. Here's Snyder.
Winding up the year with a 10-2 record. That's the best mark at Cal in 41 years.
John Dawkins, number 86, the big playmaker.
Hey, Dick, there's some guys by the name of Pappy Waldorf and Jackie Jensen and Les Richter and all that gang. Joe Roth, they'd be awful proud. You're watching these guys here today. You know that?
You bet. I think all Cal alums are proud. You know, they really took the heat after that Stanford game. The media in Northern California really got after the Cal football team.
Justifiably so, by the way.
Justifiably so. Of course, it'll be a 180 or 360-degree turn for this performance.
Oh, yeah.
There's Pulaski with his fiancée.
Dead ball, illegal procedure, offense.
There's Tracy. They will be married in June. Oh. Sorry, Mike, we still caught you.
I thought she was the trainer down there.
So the final minute 51 running off on a California victory on awfully happy for these young men from Berkeley and the way they put this program back together. And for Clemson, well, there'll be better days ahead. One thing they might want to do next year when they go to a bowl is wear orange. And I'm still coming. I still love the SO Club. I haven't given up on it. There's a deflected ball that's finally caught by a little volleyball going on now. 100-yard day for White. He says he's coming back, and that would be the smart thing to do, as it is for almost every young man who wants to come out and play in the National Football League. Stay in school and mature mentally and physically. There are just a few Barry Sanders in this world. There's a toss now to Tyrone Edwards. He's supposed to be a good one.
Yeah, you know, they have another one, another running back there right there at school. That's not too bad. They're redshirt.
You and I have just finished 30 football games of this calendar year.
That's a record.
I'm going to miss you as I go off to golf. I wish you goodwill and lots of luck with the World League, and it's been fun. We got an opportunity here to thank some very special people who've meant an awful lot to our program this year. We get ready for the Rose Bowl. Our executive producer, Jack O'Hara, he's done a real high-class job with this operation. Coordinating producer, Bob Goodrich. He'll be calling all the shots out in Pasadena coming up. Today's game was produced by Kim Belton, the Stanford grad. Kim, as usual, great working with you here, and directed so capably by Drew Esikoff. Drew and Kim and all the families of both, Happy New Year. And our TD, our technical director, Doug Schmidt. I don't think Dougie pulled a bad button all year long. Did he, Dick?
No, he didn't.
We had a great crew. Our associate producer, Jimmy Ressler. Our associate director, Dick Buffington. Our booth coordinator, Valerie Fischler. She kept this crew together all season long.
Did a good job. The food wasn't bad that she'd bring in at halftime either.
And Doug Schiffler, he never missed a commercial down there on the sideline. They had the red flag dropped all year long. I just hope this whole gang has a great 1992. And, of course, we had so many other people like Rick Abbott, Margaret Schaefer. Margaret was the Rookie of the Year down there, folks. Our computer stats, Brian Gordon and Mark Loomis. I'm going to have to learn some things from Loomis. He can play golf. He's pretty good. Brian Mogelson, he was also helping us. So that's our team, as I wish them Happy New Year. And, of course, my daredevil, Mr. Bungee Cord, Jimmy Tubbs. We call him Hands up here in the booth, folks. He doesn't just point at a number. He waves 6 signals at me. So Happy New Year to all the families back home, too. And, of course, the stars of always are the cameramen. And we've had some of the best working with us here at ABC all season long. We bring this one down, and now we get ready for that Rose Bowl. Boys put on the rain gear.
He's with us in the World League.
Oh, yeah, they saddle up in that end zone.
There's those New York Giant fans.
And a couple of these guys have given up smoking today. And stick with it, guys. That's the New Year's resolution by a couple of our cameramen. Good luck on that. Washington and Michigan due up next on ABC, and then we'll watch the Fighting Irish against Florida.
Clemson's ball, their own 10-yard line.
Doug Bolin, number 48, getting one of the final calls on the year for Clemson.
Michael Davis on the stop.
A 24-point victory.
Remember to join the game.
Coach Hatfield there. You know, Brent, nobody's immune to this kind of football game as a coach. You know, I've been there. I know how it feels. I know how it hurts. It's more fun on the other side.
I'd say. Troy Ozine, so many of those linemen for Cal did such a great job today. There's the pass, and it's intercepted. So here comes the exclamation point.
He's the fastest man on the team.
Ernest Houston. They should have gone to the lateral play. This baby's over. Let's send you to the Rose Bowl. For Dick Vermeil and Cheryl Miller, I'm Brent Musburger.